Hello and welcome, Overwatch fans. We are here. We are live. Little Overwatch action coming at you. This is the EGFC. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here with my man Twin Salty. Salty, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Won't lie. And this should be quite an interesting game to start off. You know, two teams that got swept last week, but have definitely been looking better in the spring split.
Absolutely. Two teams starting this one off. We had, again, right, it's kind of like a wonky period of time right now with spring breaks and midterms and everything else kind of coming in here. Other priorities, our first match on broadcast had to get forfeited. Oh well. We're looking at DePaul University and UConn ready to go forth here and do battle. St. John's Marquette doing battle a little bit later. We'll talk about that here when it comes to Twin Salty. Looking at DePaul University and the University of Connecticut. It's the Huskies, University of Connecticut, taking on the Blue Demons here. The DePaul, pretty similar win-loss records at this point, right?
Yeah, DePaul 3-9, UConn 4-8, and I would say UConn definitely had the higher expectation going into this year, but I would say both teams have rebounded well. I know UConn just had a brand new player jump in, so they've been, trying to test the waters with them over these first few weeks. And DePaul's honestly looked pretty decent. They took a map off of Tennessee just a few weeks ago, so even though they didn't get the win in that series, I think taking a map off one of the league's best is not something to shy away from.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not in any way, shape, or form. Let's take a look. It's Overwatch Best of 5 starting here in just a second. Let's take a look at the maps, go forth and kind of see how we are going, or where we are going. Sorry, we talked about the what. Let's talk about the where here. And there is one thing, Twin Salty, that we noticed pre-show about 3/5 of these maps.
Yeah, 3/5 of them new maps with Pariso, new Queen Street, and Shambali, all new with Overwatch 2. We could have had 4 for 5 if Antarctic Peninsula was on here, but maybe another week we'll be able to get the 4 for 4 starts. But yeah, for now, Lijiang, Pariso, New Queen Street guaranteed. Potentially we'll see Shambali and Nepal later on tonight.
Yes, Lijiang, Pariso, New Queen Street guaranteed. I do love that new monastery map, I gotta say. Do really love this one. Getting it started here in just a little bit. Are we talking about predictions at this point, Twin Salty? Are these two teams that are just so evenly matched? We are fraught to try and predict the future.
I'm struggling with prediction here. I think it should be at least a 3-1 or a 3-2 either way. With the direction DePaul has been playing, I'll honestly give the slight edge to them, even though I know with UConn, your boy Wings, if he gets to play this Rhino consistently throughout the whole night, that could be something DePaul has a very tough time trying to deal with.
Yeah, this is a tank player, like any tank player in the great game of Overwatch 2. It has to be incredibly versatile, play different heroes, play on the day. You'll hear that one again here, folks. Taking a look at these compositions so far, and right on into it. A little sim action here on the side of the University of Connecticut as your boy Wings is forced to come back a little bit. A little Reinhardt action. We haven't talked about Zeph yet. Get that one done. Depending on who wins this team fight, because we pretty much only talk about winners, Twin Salty. Back and forth. Right here, it's an attempted fire strike. That's a nasty Maywall here in the middle. Your boy Wings just getting so much attention, but so much love as well. So much hate and so much love. That is such as the duality of life, Twin Salty.
They just keep playing so safe, and it's like, all right, DePaul, that duality, want to play super aggressive. UConn want to play so safe, and it seems like the patient will win, at least initially. DePaul slowly break on through. It is the Symmetra still on the field, though, for Goldfish.
Yeah, not against it right here. Splitting this one right on down the middle. And it's going to be a nasty stall. Even done so without a tank here on board, but there's the Sim turret, and this should be the University of Connecticut. Here the Huskies now breaking through. Nasty shattered, better head shot. Lamborghini. Maybe taken there. Samo taking a long walk off a short pier. That just makes sense. Don't want to feed any ultimates here, Twin Salty.
Especially with how many were already, thrown on in. Nels already used theirs. Goldfish used Photon Barrier. And now the team will try and rotate over towards White Room, potentially teleporting, but they know it's a little bit bait. And Obscure could easily boop them off the map if they choose.
Taking a look at what's online here for University of Connecticut. There it comes! I don't think that... No, it did! That barrier did land in time, and a wasted Bomb on the other side as well. That's a nasty freeze against your boy Wings, and now a University of Connecticut squad that may be left out in the lurch. Nasty stick. Samo finds one to go with them, but that's a full team wipe with the exception of this Lucio against the University of Connecticut. DePaul University holding strong.
Nice blizzard there from Noob, just open up the space, even though, yes, the Death Blossom didn't get what you truly wanted. They were able to hit the sound barrier in time. You're at least able to follow up with those eliminations with the blizzard. And now, UConn go the same way yet again. We'll try and create some space with Samo's Deadeye.
Rounding round the same exact way. At first, you do not succeed. Try again. Maywall out here. That's going to be leaving this Reinhardt out and blocking this one off. There's a sound barrier as well. And this is just a classic zoning ultimate in the thick of things. Goldfish falls, no immortality. Field left right here. That's a nasty fire strike. You gotta love the new fire strikes. There's a charge in. That's a bad idea for your boy Wings, and Zeph reigning supreme in the tank battle as of right now.
This is gonna hurt UConn as well with how late that fight ended. Samo won't even spawn in till about the 95-second mark and 95% mark. They will not be going in full strength here for this potentially final fight of the round.
See how this one goes.
Oh,
Charges back and forth, and that's going to be your boy Wings, who doesn't even make it on the inside. Hate to see it. A 100-0 for the first round of Control. This matchup between the Blue Demons and the Huskies. Blue Demons going to be striking first.
It was just the counter pin there from Zeph. Denies him the space, but that's the consequence of them taking so long that previous fight. You know, you want to use the data to try and go in. The Maywall goes down early from Noob. It just denies all the value from the Ant Matrix from Nels, and also separates your boy Wings. They couldn't push in because they were walled off, and they were more panicking just to make sure they stay alive. And throughout that point, DePaul extended it long enough. They're able to finish it later on. And at that point, Huskies don't have enough time to even get back on the point. And now DePaul, they will use the sim, at least just teleport out of spawn yet again. Again, won't stick it, and Goldfish will stick it again.
There you go. So this is the second of 4 Eastern Conference matchups in a row, and a rematch of our week number 1. DePaul University, University of Connecticut fought then. Maybe I'll tease this one out a little bit. I'll let you guys wait, hear exactly how that one happened, but I will let you know it was 3-2. It was 3-2. Zafe gonna be one losing the tank battle this time. University of Connecticut putting a fine foot forward early in map number 2.
Even with the Junkrat nerfs, Junkrat is still extremely potent here over on Control Center and gets the value there. Zeph's shield is going to get pretty deleted here. Every single fight, they're going to have to use these fights very quickly. Or, you know, Dad's End, though, now going over to the Cassie to try and get some of those opening picks. Do not let Zeph just sit in that choke point for too long.
Yeah, I think that Nels and University of Connecticut running the Ana on in here, once Safin kind of realizes this and can negate that purple effect, there, Suzu right there. But once again, wow, the Maywall reigns supreme back and forth. Zafe, once again, gonna be losing this one. This has been all UConn and all your boy Wings in map number 2.
The counter pin only delayed the value going in from that, and it was Zeph tried, but they do eventually get taken out. Shatter is online for Wings already. Zeph only 65% there. Could be looking for an early one as DePaul now tries to rotate through server.
Yeah, I just wonder what value Noob has been getting outside of those kind of containment things. And wow, okay, Samo, a fantastic 2-piece right here. This should be enough and early. No, Noob lands this one. That's going to be almost a taken out Samo Junkrat as well. DePaul University going to be fighting this one for at an advantage as of right now. No tank on board for UConn. Your boy Wings has spawned back but not gotten back. Obscure falls as well. Back to the middle. Noob deleted. And UConn holds strong once again without their tank. Color me surprised here, Twin Salty.
It was a decent Suzu early from Safin, who is now over onto that Moira.
But
that. It just forces out the Riptire. That gets the value it needs. And even though your boy Wings gets a little bit down and dirty and gets taken out for it, is eventually, you know, still going the way UConn. And now, same way around, DePaul need to win this fight.
Desperately do. That's not a way to start it. Zeph landing one and getting that onto Goldfish right up close and personal. Obscura Soundbarrier done, dusted. Lamborghini Soundbarrier done, dusted. Datzendo the first to fall. Nelson as well as this Ryan charging in. The counter pin on the other side. Wait, no. Zeph does not land that one. It's your boy Wings swallowed up in the infield as University of Connecticut going to be losing this one. Giving it on over at 99.
And I will admit DePaul didn't use an extreme amount. They'll try and play around choke, where UConn wanted to play around this choke point because of the turret pressure. This time it'll be Noob trying to land these walls, or at least initially seemed like it. They're just going to force out the teleporter early, so for no tricky plays later on.
There's the shatter from your boy Wings. Nobody affected on the other side, I don't believe, except for Samo. It wasn't even because of the shatter. Nice magnetic grenade on the backside. Obscure actually taking that one. Can use the burst damage on the backside. This might be the full team wipe. No, that's going to be one able to get able to out.
Yeah, Lamborghini is able to escape, but a nice little clean fight there from DePaul. Now, again, Shatter and Blizzard online. I admit DePaul have done a really great job of just alternating these ults, not using too many. But again, Samo has the Riptire. They've landed it once before. Can they land it again?
What's Zeph 99, Noob 99. This is going to be enough for them to get stuff done, but no support ultimate even close. Gonna have to wait for pump up. Obscure will. There's the freeze. There's the blizzard, excuse me. That's on the inside as well. That's so much damage. Lamborghini does get out, but Samo strikes back. The tank down, though. That might be the big deciding factor here. No magnetic grenade. Still fighting it. This one is DePaul University. University of Connecticut uses their time. And a little bit of spacing here. No, actually, they're pushing this one already. They should probably come back. Junkrat's still respawning. There you go. Now that's a full team with them, and given them the space that they want is DePaul. Not 100% sure if that one makes as UConn falls. That's going to go over their way, but they have two players down. They got a touch right now. Okay, I was going to say. Staffen falls. UConn just pushes this one out, wipes the last little bit, and UConn's going to strike back right here. A 100-0 turns into a 100-85 Twin Salty.
I admittedly do like the aggression there. Yes, you don't have your Junkrat, which is a lot of your burst damage, but you know you were able to pick off 2 with that Riptire. So you at least have the 4-on-3 advantage. You can at least try and establish position. And they also force the Ajax from Obscure. They get killed during the Soundbarrier animation, which could have turned that around for DePaul, but instead they die when they're trying to hit the ground. And now we head over to Night Market to try and decide this map number 1. And honestly, it's slightly in favor of UConn because the sim is so good here if DePaul don't decide to use it long term.
The big matchup here being between Staffen and between Nels. Little Anna action there for the University of Connecticut. And also the big bursty Cassidy versus the Noob May. And I'm not sure if Noob has actually played anybody else besides May. Try and get confirmed
so
on
far
that.
Tonight, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they have. If it works, we'll knock it. It's just been, well, a whole round since they were able to take one right here. Back and forth we go. There's the TP. Oh, New almost gives them a perfect cover for that TP. Nasty purple onto the tank. Zeph falls. This should be enough encouragement for DePaul University to just kind of fight this one all the way out as best they can. No, probably no ultimates here. Nasty boop as the Lucio main that does do my heart good. I'm sorry that ends up. I am sorry that Zen though.
Yeah, it's a nice little boop off there, and it's just the slight over-aggression from Zeph. You know, they were able to land that bio-nade from Nels, and at that point you can just push right on in. Even though DePaul did get the TP down first, so at least 16% they can already claim, but a lot to go. And now both teams, just with how that fight went, looking up to a lot of ultimates. And DePaul looking to probably, actually not going to TP right away. Might TP trying behind point.
Obscure. Leading the charge in here. Not 100% sure that's in though. Pinstripe kill feed. Back and forth we go. Lots of ultimates on board for both of them. That's a nasty shatter. Noob takes a lot of damage up close. And now that's your boy Wings. Nano boosted. He may be, Twin Salty, still takes down everybody in their path. Talk to me about some of these ultimates.
Well, first, a beautiful shot of it from Wings. Now Zeph getting ready to lock one themselves. They haven't Neither Ryan's honestly been too successful with them so far. I would say the one Wings just did has been the best. But now Noob can try and use the Blizzard just to separate point.
It's going to be the Zen wall out first. Noob does have that. There's a second one. It's kind of back and forth right in the middle. There's the Blizzard. Charge out. Doesn't make it. Your boy Wings getting just shattered and absolutely abused right there in the middle of pitch for all to see. There's a High Noon telling the time to Noob. May right there. Zev takes a purple. Gets super aggressive, but is able to get out with their lives, and that's what's crucial. The outside here, both of these Sims just trying to cook. That's going to be Goldfish getting burnt on the outside. Nels takes a hop off the outside, and what, 71% is where UConn finishes their offensive push.
That was very cheeky, I will say, from the Huskies. They teleport Sam with the Sim TP to try and get a few more with that Deadeye. They're able to pick off one, but not enough to swing the fight over to their way. But so many ultimates thrown in. Safin now on this Kiriko. Could build up this Kitsune rush pretty late on here in this fight.
Yeah, we've seen plenty of Kitsune rushes, but none of them that have like really definitively decided team fights thus far, at least by themselves. And that's what DePaul University is going to have to look at right now. There's a nice first kill, and DePaul University with the second has pretty much secured this team fight already.
Yeah, the wall goes up, nobody can back up, and it's just the easiest cleanup
Yep.
I think DePaul will have all evening. And now they can set these turrets up at this main choke. Noob, if they want to, can use the wall early. Probably won't. But Nels now has that nano back, so they can either use it onto Goldfish if they want to like try and have the Sim Beam on microwave mode, basically, or probably just throw it onto Wings just so they can survive the turrets that are now around this point.
85%, not a whole lot of wiggle room right now for DePaul. There goes one of the TPs, the attempted shatter. No, and off the side, almost gets there. Tippy-toeing on the outside. Your boy Wings falls to their counterpart. Lucio getting credited with it. Now, up front, close, personal. Fire Strike ends out Goldfish. And this should be DePaul early. This is just like kind of stagger mode right now. Still got a... Yeah, there you go. There's a sound barrier for DePaul University. A nasty purple against Noob. Make sure that they're going to be all right through this one. If UConn's able to get their tank back, that's a shatter. And a High Noon might be enough. Obscure falls. There's the shatter. That's in, though, falls as well. There's a Blizzard on the outside, Charge on the inside. Staffin, nasty headshot. Your boy Wings has no heals in the back, and the result remains the same. DePaul University, in a tight one, takes Lijiang Tower.
Extremely tight game. This is what we thought and hoped this series would be, and so far, not disappointing in the slightest.
Not at all.
As each team is just throwing haymakers at each other, trying to make these plays, and it's honestly not been many mistakes, if at all. Oh my god, it sent the bat flying in that one. But it's just been more, all right, who has the better set play ready to go? Your boy Wings, that shatter saves them here. Not sure if the nano was needed, but hey, for style points, I'll give it to him.
Exactly.
So, honestly, both of these teams looking pretty good. The only thing now, we go to Pariso, which, not a rush map by any means necessary. So I want to see what these teams flex to, whether it be a dive comp, more of a poke. But I have a feeling the Ryans may not be as much of a factor here in map 2.
That's entirely fair. That's entirely fair. We talked a little bit about like the tanks on both of these sides and how they have to adapt going through these series. We pretty much just saw the Reinhardt here earlier. Twin Salty poses a good point, and the attention has to be turned towards just how well these two, that's your boy Wings, and I think it's Zeph. We've been saying Zeph,
yeah.
Zeph, yeah, with Zeyph, how they operate coming into Pariso. Obvious picks. As far as tank-wise, I think I'd really like to see an Orisa here. I think Orisa's in a great spot right now. Any other thoughts, Twin Salty?
If they want to run the poke, I think that's a decent idea. And especially, it's more of a counter dive as well. If we see more of a Doomfist or a Winston on the antagonist, or even a Wrecking Ball. If you want to run the dive, though, I'd say Wrecking Ball is, again, it's weird that he's back in meta to a degree. It depends. It's either you're very good at ball or you're not good at ball at all. It seems like. So I want to see these teams, hey, if you want to run the ball, go for it. But if it's not working early, you just got to make sure you swap in time.
Two things, Twin Salty. First of all, I think it's so beautiful, the state of Overwatch where we're in right now, that we literally just talked about, like, what, 5 or even 6 different tanks that are actually viable within this next map coming up, right?
Yeah.
Time used to be viewer, I'm not sure if you're new to Overwatch. If you're older, you know, then there's typically been pretty tight, strict metas. Even when we had 2 tanks all the way through here. Now Overwatch 2, I think that goes to speak towards the balance a little bit. Second, Joan Salty, I think you saw it as well. We got a little sub action coming in for the tank for University of Connecticut and for one of the DPS for the University of Connecticut.
Yeah, 2 little subs going on. And we expected your boy Wings, I think, to get subbed out just because he is the Rhine specialist. Yeah. Seeing that, hey, the Rhine is not going to be pretty good here in this map, it makes sense. And that Clip's going in for Samo. So I don't mind that, honestly. You know, Samo was more trying to play that Cassidy. Maybe is not as much on the sniper or the dive characters, depending on what look they want to run out. So just trying to utilize that bench a little bit more and rotate some of those more specialist players in here for the Huskies who desperately need to get this map 2 under their control pretty early on.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. Eclipse maybe less of the hit scan players, Samo maybe the hit scan specialist perhaps. Don't know. You know, that's just kind of speculation, theory crafting, whatever you want to call it at this point. Hopping on into this one, we'll see how this goes. And if University of Connecticut, if the Huskies here can tie it back up with the Blue Demons, map number 2.
DePaul so far showing the poke on the defensive side. It seems to be the tale of 2 halves here on this map. If you're on offense, you're almost always going dive, because if you're not playing dive, it is so hard to create space, especially here in these first 2 phases of the map. On defense, you either see the counter dive or just the poke. It seems like DePaul wanted to go more of the poke with that Zen, though, on the Torb to try and deal with any potential flankers, more for Goldfish as it stands. And UConn going to that dive, again, like we see from a lot of these attacking sides. The only difference being Eclipse is on the Widow, so trying to play these long sight lines, that is why they're being subbed in as their sniper specialist. Just have to make sure, and you know what, we can see if it actually does end up working for him here. So far, it'll just be DePaul poking away. No, you're good. And it just UConn trying to figure out how they want to try and push on in here, or if they want to dive high ground or go over to point.
Yeah, the pensiveness makes sense a little bit early. What I was saying while I was muted is I think, just briefly, I think it also is kind of beautiful the amount of healers we were also seeing. We were talking about tanks in the variety and like really like actual value. My God, talk about noobs and value. We were talking about hit scan specialists. Noob is out here playing a whole lot of May earlier, now showing a lot of prominence in hit scan players.
Showing they can run a little bit of the flex DPS, throw a little bit of the hit scan in as well, and Eclipse already off the Widow. Going to try and a little bit more on the Soldier. You can that disruptor shot just to try and deny some of that space. But yeah, Noob on this Cassidy could be a real issue on these dives, just with the Fan the Hammer to break bubble. You know, Magnetic Grenade is obviously a pretty potent issue as well.
Potent issue. That's what we do as casters, y'all. We take possible negatives or positives and turn them into neutrals. Potential issue. I hate Magnetic Grenade so much. That's going to be turret taken out first, so the University of Connecticut defense getting a little bit wonky right here. Nice Magnetic Grenade onto the... Wow, okay, so Goldfish on the way. Can I tag them and bag them once they get there, because that dive is just pretty much useless. Oh, Noob! Making a snooze on point right here. That's 1, that's 2. That's the University of Connecticut healers. Once again, I think these guys were hearing us talk about tanks. Got tired of it to Insultly. They got tired of it, I tell you.
Yeah, the support's got to show up a little bit. Hey, nicely from Nell saves their own life and honestly sets themselves up very well. DePaul will try to recontest here, though.
That's a lot of ultimates invested as well. Noob has theirs on the back side, and Goldfish and the rest of UConn just not really caring too much. That's going to be... Oh, my goodness. Never mind. DePaul University. I knew that Noob had the High Noon, but I just feel like in Overwatch 2, there's so much less value that High Noon frequently gets, and a lot of times we have the Cowboy telling us what time it is just to put that revolver back down with no effect. It's mostly just used for zoning, right?
Yeah, almost at this point just for zoning, but that time they throw everything out there and able to at least steal it for now. Nanoblade, though, is about to be ready for UConn, so if it lands, pretty decent opportunity for them to try and capture this first point.
Well, I mean, the Brig here, Noob gets another Magnetic Grenade on there. Might see a different story, but that's going online now for Nelson Goldfish. Nels getting a lot of pressure. We're not going to see it from University of Connecticut. DePaul, wow, the Blue Demons really proven to be a thorn in the side on their defensive opportunities.
And just staggering this fight out, able to take out Eclipse, and now you just gotta wait. You only have one true fight at this left. You just gotta throw everything in, or at least this Nano Blade to start off. You can throw in the Overclock if need be, but the worry at this point is DePaul is getting close to ults being back. You know, Safin, 15 to Nano, they can just throw it on Zep to try and build up this flux they need.
That's a lot initially. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Goldfish is feeding a tasty snack, but they're the ones eating. 20 seconds right here. Goldfish gets a lot of attention, and Zeph somehow actually managed to stay alive through that, but that'll be enough for this offense. 10 seconds turned into 2 minutes and 40, just like that. University of Connecticut, once again, a little more wiggle room here. Twin Salty.
One of the oldest ult combos in the game, still one of the best ult combos in the game.
Yes.
As able to line it up, and Rich, importantly, and Eclipse, both able to keep their ultimates here for the beginning of this Streets phase, where it is just high ground central. If you don't have the high ground, you aren't going to win this phase of the map. And DePaul trying to establish that early here, just trying to go through the buildings, knowing that they don't have as much mobility, and it's cost them already.
Wow, okay, so Obscure's been playing a pretty good Brig up to this point. Able to get out of a lot of these situations. What's up?
They just get split up a little bit. I think Rich dives in, they throw the Winston bubble down, and they get split up. You know, half of them are in, half of them are out. Obscure, just, as you said, been playing well so far. They've been almost the personal shield for Noob at times during this map, but that time around just gets picked off early, and UConn almost stroll through the second phase of the map.
I'm not gonna lie, once again, really like where Brig's at as of right now. 300 health on there feels like a perfect amount. Just absolutely badgering the Cowboy right now. And actually, Rich kind of loses the juggle there towards the backside. Zeph finds a pick right here. That's the tank and the main source of healing down for UConn. Looks like DePaul University gonna be coming out on top right before point number 2.
Important to note there, Noob gets the Nano just to make sure they're able to touch for a few seconds when everybody else comes back. I'm pretty sure Rich probably thought, hey, they're going to die, not realizing the Nano is on them. So at that point, they don't finish it up, and now UConn in a little bit of a struggle spot. They only have Nano here for this fight, and it's a risk to try and wait for this blade.
Zeph postured up, sends the accretion right here, and that was almost enough just to take out Rich and early. Noobs, high ground, always with the middle range distant character that is Cassidy, of course. Tries the fan hammer, actually misses it and falls down. University of Connecticut, disadvantage early. Dadzen, though, going to be taken out from DePaul, and there's a glowing monkey. Nobody's going to like it, but Eclipse gets Zeph's in tension there at the end. 18 seconds. Do they have enough to even come back and touch?
Goldfish is already swapped over to the Tracer, not trying to risk trying to build up that blade. They will be able to touch, hopefully. Noob, great play from them. They just pop the Deadeye early, don't get greedy with it, and you pick up Lamborghini.
Here's the touch. We'll be able to have a little bit of a stall action from Goldfish until the callback comes in, but no, Obscure, classic Brig. That's why she was invented. There's the... Yeah, that's enough right there. Obscure gonna be given the credit for the last 3 kills right there, but Zave sets him up in every way, shape, and form. And that is the DePaul University holding strong on the defense. Doesn't quite let up 2 points. Almost, not quite.
The Brig-Ana combo has slowly crept into meta. It was so good with the anti-dive, and you saw it there every time. And I wouldn't say every time. Majority of the time, UConn tried to initiate in. It was either, oh, you're getting flailed away. You're going to get hit with a nade. You're going to get hit with shield bash or slept. And at that point, it's giving time for the rest of their team to come back and peel. So I love the combo there from them. I don't mind the Kiriko instead of the Brig. It is more banking on the fact you can hit those protection Suzus. But I think long-term, especially what they were running, DePaul getting a lot done with the Brig and setting themselves up quite well, I will say, to try and go up 2-0 in this series. They will continue to run the poke in UConn, at least so far, continuing to run the dive.
Different looks right here. Wanted to give you guys an update. Didn't want to leave everybody hanging too long. This rematch of a Week 1 EGFC competition that saw DePaul University 3-2 loss to University of Connecticut. So DePaul University doing everything they need right now to kind of flip that one on its ear and give this squad, this University of Connecticut Husky squad, a little bit of a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, payback is a dish best served when both teams are needing a win desperately right now.
There you go. I believe that's the
So,
old phrase.
hey, yeah, a little modified, but hey, we'll take it. So DePaul, they will actually change it up at least a little bit. No need for the Torb for the counter dive, so, well, yeah, say that, and they swap right over to it once they realize they're on the dive. They try and go on it early, and they realize, okay, double sniper against dive, not going to work out too well, but let's go back to what worked over on the defensive side.
Yeah, 2 hit scans right here for University of Connecticut. Single on the side of DePaul, outside of the Saf and Anna. Trying to posture their way up into the inside. Rich goes up, takes a lot of attention and even more damage. Goldfish, high ground. Just kind of peppering in damage where they can right here. Getting to the bottom very quickly, and a good job from Nels Lamborghini to get that one going. Rich needs a little bit of rest, a little bit of back, but that's not going to happen. Noob and the entirety of the DePaul University squad going to be able to take that tank down, and that's just a slow roll from there, Twin Salty.
Team kill goes through. That is how you attack on pre-so. You just force a little mistake. Rich stays along just for a tad bit too long, and you just punish it. And UConn now making some swaps. They almost mirror what the call is running. The only change being Dad Zendo staying on the Torb for now. Eclipse going over to the Soj to try and, get that railgun shots. Trying the pseudo sniper, I will say. But this is a little bit of a risk here, but you're banking on the fact you can win those first neutral fights.
Wow, okay, that's a pretty early ultimate, and that's going to get everything that they want. DePaul University, my God. That was the fastest team kill I've seen in quite a while, given that there's only one ultimate invested. It was just that Zeph. Wow, that was
just
that
a
was
flux.
insane. Yeah, exactly.
It was just a flux. Yeah, it was just, wow. They bank on the fact, hey, we need this high ground control now to set ourselves up for later. They're able to do that, and now full high ground control for the Blue Demons, and now challenges UConn to try and get in position here with 20 meters left.
Wow, that was almost this main source of healing. UConn, almost Nels just taken out right there. There comes the Nano. Zeph. Sigma is angry. That's going to be a an obscure pick early. DePaul University is like a hair's breadth away from getting this. Same with 2 picks up. Did not anticipate this one being as quick, but that's exactly what we're looking at right now as Noob goes on a flank as the Cassidy. Tracer can't even touch, and that's a much quicker map than I think we expected to see. DePaul University once again wins 2-1 scoreline.
DePaul's making this map look easy. That was ridiculous there from the Blue Demons. They go to match point. And, we've been saying it. DePaul's looking different recently. We didn't think this, though, over on map 2. Considering, how close map 1 was. Maybe it was the swaps. It took a little bit. Actually, Rich looked pretty good up until the end there. And I think it was more the dive just wasn't working. And he was throwing it on Sigma to where, hey, you're at a disadvantage no matter what. They have higher ult charge than you. And they're warm on the character. They've been playing it the whole map.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's a rough circumstance here for UConn to where, hey, you got to win New Queen Street, which is at least, I expect the Brawl to come back over there on the streets of Canada. And at that point, you just got to put one map in front of the other.
Exactly. Kind of like forget that you're down 2-0 at this point. Switch up some compositions. Go with whatever you felt with best. But whatever they're going to do, is going to be figured out right now as we go to a short break as these teams get a little bit of time to figure out what they want to do for map number 3. Back with you guys in just a minute. Hello and welcome back, folks. Thanks for waiting. It was a short break. We keep our promises here at the EGFC. You hear me? You hear me? We're at MEPBI Tugboat. I'm here at Twin Salty. We will be going back into this one, a map number 3 here between DePaul University and UConn. Now, folks, just as a recapper here, this is DePaul University that did lose in 3-2 fashion to the University of Connecticut in week number 1, the very first week of the EGFC, way back in September, I guess that'd been.
September, October-ish.
Yeah, something like that. First semester of this school year. Now, we're staring down the barrel of DePaul University, 2-0. Now, Lee Jong was decently close. Gotta say, Pariso, not so much. Do Queen Street up next, and Twin Salt, we were talking a lot about what these teams can do based on the geographical makeup of New Queen Street.
You know, it is traditionally a rush map. The curious thing from UConn is they make a lot of swaps. They put Nels over from flex support over to damage. Samo subs back in as well. And then Tiz guys for the first time today subs in over on that flex support. So they go almost like double flex DPS as a setup, at least from what we've seen in the past. The thing is, though, no Wings. Wings is staying out for push. You know, he has been on record to say he does not like push. So maybe that is just why, even with it being a rush type map, maybe not wanting to run the mode itself and get Rich a little bit more time here with the squad as they are new this semester. But I do think UConn, they have the tools for it, and it's not like they've done anything that poorly. It's just DePaul week after week has been getting better and better during the spring, and this would be a phenomenal win for them if they're able to pull it off.
It really would be. Now, this is kind of like the philosophical difference here, right? Do you want to try and play like the specialist on these individual heroes and the roles that you want to play? Do you want to play the players that already have 2 games of experience against this DePaul University squad? Regardless, this is your lineup, folks. University of Connecticut, Samo, back on in here. Nels, again, over from the support play onto play Hanzo. Rich, staying onto this tank and showing Sigma as of right now. Tiz guys on in here. We had your boy Wings. Now we had a boy, now we had a guy. Now we got a guy. That's Lamborghini as well here over on that Baptiste. No changes. Yeah, no changes on DePaul.
I wonder if Connecticut were expecting the Sigma look from DePaul, and now they're just going to see a Ryan comp rushing at them because they're almost getting ready for a pseudo mirror, and instead it's just the rush comp that should on paper run them over.
Yes, Zafe up front, been getting stuff going. Actually, forced to abandon that corner for just a second. Dead Zen, though, makes short work. Turret up here and early. Trying to play corner perfectly as noobs. Fan and hammers everywhere on the outside. Wow, Zeph gets punished for their aggression really early. Lamborghini almost takes a nasty one there, but in off the helm of Nels right here. Storm arrows and more making mincemeat out of DePaul University players.
Just played the patient game for UConn. It's what worked so well for DePaul over on map 1. This time around, though, it works out for UConn as DePaul just get a little bit, you know, too hyped up, trying to make sure they can finish that fight quick. And Zeph and Noob both go in front of the Sig Shield and not able to be saved.
Now forced to come all the way back here. UConn on the back foot. Zeph once again the first to fall. University of Connecticut. These Huskies are fighting as a pack.
They have truly started to figure it out now. Zeph has swapped over to the Sigma, not a huge shock, and here comes some of the swaps in from DePaul. Every time they tried to at least initiate on this Rhine, Tiz guys just threw the Discord orb on them. So they even were melted quicker than what they would have. And DePaul, the only thing they keep is going to be that Zendo on, well, I was going to say on the Reaper, but they swap as well late on over to the Hanzo. So everybody swapping around here for the Blue Demons.
Wholesale switches. I'm not against it. Fix it if it is broke. Wow, okay. University of Connecticut members finding too early as well, though. Obscure. You're seeing them back in respawn as this squad will be continuing on.
This is starting to ramble out of control here for DePaul because they have no ults for this fight. UConn will have a lot at their disposal. The only one they won't have is that A matrix they just used.
Wow, so Zafe gets like Rich gets super hyper aggressive and kind of pays off right there. There's the Flux. That's a lot of damage onto Obscure and enough to take that out the back of that ultimate. Now finally, DePaul University. Looks like they're going to be coming off at this point for at least a little bit.
Yeah, Noob gets 2 in the back, and they actually get
Wow,
a third as
okay.
well. It at least opens it up to where they're going to die, but it will be UConn just having to back up. They don't have the manpower to try and push in, so Noob at least, you know, settles the damages for now. But the question is, how long will it take you to try and combat this? Because 77 meters right away, especially in push with the nature of the game mode, can be a very hard task to try and come back from.
I love the Orisa so far, though. Playing this one on the corner. A lot of attention. There's the Torbolt, though. Throw some dragons on top. Is that 2 wasted DPS ultimates? Tiz guys going to be pulling this one onto point, trying to keep their team alive for the time being. It was definitely necessary. UConn able to take out a big source of healing, the main source of healing over for DePaul. Is Obscure going to be having that one popped online? No, they still have it. Excuse me.
I don't... the Dragons, I think, maybe not needed. The Molten Core, though, separated out Zeph and Safin, so it was a 2v5 on bot. Nobody else could really get near them. So DePaul, again, they get split up, and UConn will continue the advantage here, but DePaul now have the ult advantage.
Wow, yeah, so that's going to be Tiz guys early. This is why this DePaul squad brought this Hanzo on board. Nels hiding in the wings right now. Lets that Dragons pass them on by. Storm is done. Now to get back out after the rains. Up top, there's one purchase for the Sojourn. DePaul University. That's Noob. Gets a little bit of attention on the second one. And I love how Obscure actually gives Nels back a little bit of attention they gave earlier. There's the Trance. Obscure now up front, going to be beating this one down. Obscure is going to be left at the end and not get their healing down. Noob falls. The result of this gravitic flux.
They're still trying to push at least a little bit here. I think that, yeah, that Bionade should, I was about to say should finish it up, but it's still 4 members strong. Make that 3 for UConn.
Oh, wow.
They may not be able to get too much longer, though. Both supports out of the picture, and it's just Zeph trying to stay alive, and the Nano throwing on should be able to finish this off.
There you go. There's DePaul, and they'll be running on back here. UConn invests this Torb ultimate inside of it. Wow. Okay, so Safin just didn't quite realize this Torb ultimate was finished. That's going to be a long walk for an Anna, and especially for a DePaul team that has no other real sources of healing outside of the Lucio group.
It's been halfway through this map. They have not even a full meter yet. They just flipped spawns. Finally back in their favor. UConn does not have it, but they have to back up just a little bit. They can't push in. They have to wait. As you said, it's for Safin to get back into this, which allows UConn to fully set up. And this bot won't even touch the barricade yet.
Wow, Safin just gets left in the lurch right here. A Lucio about twice as far away as their healing allows. And Anna nowhere to be found. Once again, DePaul University kind of jumps the gun right here, Twin Salty, and bites the bullet for it.
It's just the communication wasn't there. Zeph goes in, not realizing Obscure is not with them quite yet. And it is just the easy pick for UConn, who, as the longer this goes, the more in favor of them it gets.
Wow, Noob does not have their slide back online here. Datsun, though, only invest this one to go forth and get it against the Immortality field. Javelin spin, a little bit more there from Zeph, not going to be enough. Super low is this Tracer. Datsun, not willing to give this one up, though. Love that. Nels tired of it, though. Gives one back, and, I mean, if this was in the middle, we wouldn't have had really that much of a change. Ball University looks like be coming on back for at least a little while.
UConn just doing a great job of time wasting during the end of these, too. It's like, hey, just throw somebody on, now throw another person on. And yes, it staggers you out a little bit, but with how the beginning of this map went, you can play the time game at this point. It is going to take DePaul so long to get to 105 meters where you can play. As long as these fights go a little bit longer and you stall a little bit here, they may have to hit OT before they can even reach that mark.
Yeah, and then that's, of course, solo fight territory at that point. There's Sojourn, the Baptiste window. Nasty purple trying to come back from it is Rich, but Sam falls. Another source of damage. Noob done for DePaul. Dad Zen tries to find this thing outside. Nels once again has their number. Really singing true why this player went on over from support to this Hanzo. Zep front personal. Nels still let feed here. It's gonna be the last couple of shots, but Zeph dedicates just way too much into that. Kind of like the anger pick, right? In a situation where they otherwise might have had a little bit of wiggle room.
I think at this point for the Blue Demons, you need to win this fight, and then you need to win every single fight almost after it, just to give yourselves a chance, because you have not been able to get a footing in this. UConn at this point, like, hey, we don't even need to push it. As long as we get close spawn, we can just back up and play towards mid, where DePaul have not been able to prove they can win a neutral fight.
Nels, after the tear that they just went on, 2 points away from ultimate. This one goes back. Spawn's unlocked. Steph finds so much attention over there. None of it is going to be really desired. There's a sound barrier early for Obscura, not even during an ultimate as well. There's the Dragons. That's not going to find anything, but just really kind of provide a lot of separation here. Noob, Obscura both finding some. Nels once again.
He just doesn't
I'm
miss.
sorry. I shouldn't.
It's crazy.
Well, on the Tracer, yeah. On Zeph, yes, he can hit as well, but Dad Zen, those just had their number read by Nels at like 4 picks in a row.
Yeah, I like this Tracer swap. Try and put more pressure on them, put more pressure on Tiz guys as well, because they've been getting a little aggressive during these fights, but less than 90 seconds left. DePaul, they have that pulse bomb. They'll probably throw an early, if I had to guess, on the Tiz guys to try and draw out the Transcendence, and then use the Flex afterwards.
This next team fight really coming off the back of whether or not Tiz guys can stay alive. Now Trance online. Nelson's there. That's an attempted. That's just going to be used on the Immortality field. And then the Amplification Matrix from this Baptiste. The other side, there's the Trance. Going to have to wait for it. Rich getting so low on board with Dad Zen though right now. They have a score to settle, and Nels does fall finally. DePaul University purchase themselves a little bit more than just a little bit of wiggle room right there. Twin Salty, they're tasting finishing up this map.
They did lose Zeph, though. Zeph does die late. Obscure dies right beforehand as well. So Obscure got far spawn. Zeph at least able to get close spawn. So win this spot, just kind of chills around for a minute before they continue pushing that barricade. They just play safe, and Nels can see Sabbath.
Wow, so maybe even give this up, let this run back a little bit. 17 seconds, no main support. Point. Yeah, Dad Zen though can come back. This Tracer can come back. That's not a bad pick. That's a really nasty one, though.
Yeah, this is just getting worse and worse. They weren't able to back up. UConn know what to do, and they're just going to keep the spot where they can't touch it.
Yeah, slow burn right here. Going to be enough for University of Connecticut to at least strike back a little bit. 2-1 series we go. Predictions that we gave was that this was not going to be a sweep. This was not going to be a 3-0 for either of these two squads. We've just purchased ourselves at least a 3-1 scoreline. Take a look. This was the Terror Surge in the middle, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think they're able to throw it in late.
Oh no, they didn't even use it.
They didn't even use it. It was just a nano. Just able to pick up a few here and there. I think they used the next fight. But yeah, push is definitely not DePaul's map type. At least off of that, they just could never settle. And when early on, like, hey, you could take advantage of this map. You know, it does benefit a lot early on to the rush, and you just get a little over aggressive and you get punished. And you get punished 2 fights in a row. And at that point, with this map especially, that snowball is just so ridiculous, where UConn built a lead, and they at that point can, hey, we can win a fight, we can lose a fight. If we play that game, we're in an easy spot.
Yeah, and I think some of the counter picking might come into play on this next map. Again, we're looking at Shambali Monastery here for our 4th map. Goes to all the distance. If this is the Huskies are able to take the monastery here, then we'll be looking at a map 5 Nepal, and that you know, that's exciting. That's exciting. A full 5. Yeah. Let's take a look at him. Let's take a look at him. We talked about him. Now let's look at him.
Yeah, Shambali, then Nepal. Shambali, very much a poke map. It is very similar to, you know, what Havana used to be, and still, I would say, to a degree, is same thing with Rialto. Poke is going to be extremely potent here. No wonder why we don't see any swaps, even from UConn. They will keep everybody in. They expected to play the Sigma over on New Queen Street. They played it well. Now going into a map where the Sigma should be really strong. Will DePaul be able to reclaim the glory of the Sig comp like they did over on Parisa?
Yes, I 100% understood. Agreed, I meant. Sorry. Shambali Monastery, absolutely love the map myself. And it is somewhere where a Baptiste will be tested. I think that the University of Connecticut DePaul University both have healers that can play on the Baptiste, but again, we're in a fantastic place right now where there's a whole lot of different supports that are entirely viable. That is a 2-1 for DePaul University. Here as the Huskies struck back in game number 3. I gotta say, starting off 100-0 on the Lijiang Tower, it got a little bit more contentious after this. This looked like, especially after DePaul University took map number 2, took Pariso at a 2-1 scoreline, this might have been that sweep, but fortunately, we're getting a little bit of extra Overwatch action here for our first actual match here on EGF Overwatch. Big shout out to our producer on the day. That is Blizzard out here, producing away, making our jobs as casters just so much easier, and we do appreciate that. University of Connecticut on attack. What are we looking at, Twin Salty?
It will be both teams trying to run this Sigma poke. And honestly, at least right now, the near mirror, will have to wait and see what Lamborghini decides to land on for that other support slot. But they want to run the Torb, especially, in this defense. You can run on this high ground. There are some very difficult angles for the offense to see where the turret actually is, where it's actually still shooting everybody. And I think where they have it, yeah, they'll be able to shoot down over on point, and you won't be able to shoot it until you at least get pretty close. The only difference being Lamborghini on that BAP trying to hold that longer term mortality here on the corners, where it'll be more Safin on the kids and on the Kiriko, a little more short term.
A little mid-range action there. Not one but two Torbjorns here on this map. Bunch of sources of damage with our additional turrets and whatnot. High ground hold right now from DePaul University on board with Noobs as of right now. Looking for a headshot right there. That's an early turret just completely shut down. We have only seen turrets and immortality fields killed here and or Lamborghini for the University of Connecticut right now playing onto that Baptiste. Trying to find a way in edgewise right now. It's the University of Connecticut. They've been able to push it up to this corner, but just being super, super pensive about this up to this point.
It is so hard for the offense on this map just to get anything done, and at least so far they're able to get through the first hard corner, and now you got 2 more to go.
Yeah, so the continued really slow push right here. No team's even really losing a whole bunch of healers, or a whole bunch of heroes. As I say that, Rich getting a lot of attention. Now that's the Implication Matrix. Here's a little bit of Dragons right back at it. This is such a great zoning ultimate as well, because it pretty much negates out a lot of this wall that can be used from the majority of that ultimate. And now University of Connecticut back to square one.
It is still, oh my, Safin is still up there on high ground. They've not been able to swift step out. I don't think anybody's been able to get close enough to them for them to swift step out, and they'll get caught out. A little bit of a blunder there from DePaul, which could set themselves up here and set UConn up just to keep this cart pushing on forward.
Oh, there we go. There's a gravitic flux right there. Nice pop. And there's an even better trans from DePaul University on the other side to keep everybody alive. Zafe falling throughout the thick of things right here, and offense has done it. That's a lot of time here for them.
Especially for Shambali standards, that is an incredible amount of time for UConn here on the offense. They just have nobody to touch. Yes, they use the Transcendence there from Obscure to try and keep Zeph up, but they just died. They were the go-to touch. And now UConn, they can also get it around this U-turn as well, at least for the majority of it. A great start here for the Huskies.
Fantastic start for the Huskies. UConn playing like they're on match point, because they are. There's an early pick, though. Obscure, great job. Gravitic Flux yet again. Immortality Field, the next on the chopping block, as now looking for the Zen. Finds it as well. DePaul University fighting this one with no losses on their side.
That is how you just need to come back if you're DePaul. Like, hey, we just need something to go our way, because so far nothing has gone their way on this map. But now those ults slowly starting to filter on through as Noob has another Dragon Strike. As you said, been very great with it, just to zone, to deny space with it more than trying to go for picks. And nice little triple headshot damage pick off there from Safin. Nels swapping out into Skenji will go right back to spawn, and it'll make them reconsider if they want to try and go with this, and at least for now, going to stick it.
On with board with Noob right now. Got that Dragons, the only ultimate on board completely right now. There's a nice double. DePaul University continuing on their prominence as the Zen gets hunted down yet again. Oh, there we go. Okay, no, excuse me. That was Rich actually joining on with Tiz, and that's going to be enough for team fight win, DePaul University.
This is just, again, this is what it should have been first phase for DePaul, right? Like, it is such a defensive-sided map. You have to play it just a certain way, and to play it so carefully. Just trying to make sure you're not overexposing yourself, but you're also, like, taking the space that you actually need to get something done. Safin continues to be aggressive. We'll be looking for a quick little kunai here before they swift step out.
Early attention. There. Wow, I love it. I love the Kiriko. There's the immortality field as well. Tiz guy's down. Torbjorn dusted. Now, okay, so I love how Safin's just gotten so aggressive here recently.
Yeah, I love the aggression as long as you can swift step out. Like, that time it worked great. On your defense, it's kind of the reason why it started not going your way, and you eventually just couldn't group back as a solid 5. So as long as you have a way out, if somebody is near, like, especially during the second phase of this map, there is so many places where you could swift step out to a teammate, and then it should be able to work pretty well for him.
There's both Torbjorn ultimates on this one. Tiz guys has that on board. There is the Kitsune rush here from Saf and DePaul University right down the middle, but they can't really use this space because the current Torbjorn ultimate, Florida's lava, folks. Noob playing this corner once again, trying to take out their Shimada brother, other side. Both Torbjorn turrets fall first on this one, and that's going to be a big loss for DePaul. There's a slow burn now. Nell's taken out in the back, and whatever team loses, it just seems like their healers still stay alive towards the end, and at least find a couple. Those are the only kills that the...
Okay. I think Safin was close to killing Tiz guys, and he just decided he's gonna pop it, and we'll have to wait and see, you know, if it matters or not. Obscure uses it from spawn as... No, he didn't use it from spawn, did he? I don't think he did. Oh yeah,
I'm very confused.
Yeah, this is... No, he didn't. Sorry, graphics got a little weird on our end. It looked like he used it for a second for whatever reason. That was an interesting ult there from Tiz guys. I don't mind it, because I guess you captured points, so it didn't hurt you as much as I thought it could have, but they may want it later on here on this.
I think that was kind of like, hey, guys, like, we're not going to get a better attempt than this right now. Graphitic Flux out. That's a lot of damage onto Zeph right now. Nels has this blade, but no real space with which to pull it. Got to be able to get up in there, and that dash is still on cooldown. There it is. Gonna have to go to it eventually. Yukon faces a nasty blade, nasty dragons across the bottom. Here comes the dragon blade. Excuse me. Nels getting a lot of attention, but able to keep this one alive. Getting help from Lamborghini and Tiz guys. Gets a lot of damage in there, but it's mostly their teammates actually. They go for it. The Huskies here and take this one. There'll be one more team fight left in this one, Salty.
And if that, I'm not sure if anybody's even able to touch. Zeph will try and go in. At least gets it early. Trank uses well from Obscure.
Yeah, there's the Transcendence. Yeah, Obscure just spends way too much time right here, and this is a DePaul University that was never really able to set up afterwards. This is just all type situations at this point. There's the hit down, there's a done ball, and 38 seconds is a lot less. I gotta say, Twin Salty, a lot less than what we thought this could have been.
A lot less for what it could have been, but for this map to where historically it is one of the maps that you finish the map the least amount of times, it's a pretty good time bank, I would say, for UConn. Teams rarely get to third phase, let alone actually finish the map, because normally by the time they reach third phase, they have no time on the clock. So they have to win almost every fight, but UConn had a little bit of time to wiggle with, and this is the UConn. Again, we've been expecting a lot of this year, and it's just been very hit or miss. This time around, though, able to figure it out, now with Nels over on that DPS. DePaul, you got to be asking yourselves, hey, what do we need to change? Because obviously what we're running right now is just not working whatsoever.
Yeah, for DePaul, it worked for like a little while right here. At least right now, showing something. Yeah, DePaul is showing exactly what. They're on offense here, and they can't change it up right now, though. Nels was reigning supreme onto the Hanzo earlier. It's going to be Sojourn, and they start this one off with Tiz guys back onto the Zen, and I'm not against this for the sake of those Discord orbs here, Twin Salty.
You love the Discord orbs, especially, you know, we saw it over in map 3, right? It got so much value. And I'm curious to see if it goes to that direction again. Safin is late to spawn. That is important to note. As you know, that's not important to note. They're on the offense. I'm thinking they're on the defense here.
Yep.
I'm losing my mind. So, never mind. Yukon, ready, set to go. Torb turret should be a nuisance. And Dad's End, though, yeah, just going over to the Cassidy. A little more shield break and the Torb on the offense. Not going to be able to get as much done.
Classic posture from the high ground right now. There's actually a little flank action coming in from Dad's End, though. The Cassidy for the side of DePaul. 3 members on point. Rich getting hyper aggressive right now. Nice job from the Sojourn zone. Damage and then accretion. Gonna be enough to take out the first in this offense here. Side of DePaul. Rich deciding they kind of maybe bit off a little bit more than they can chew. Ops not. And Anna anti-grenade across the middle right here, and Safin, the rest of DePaul, looks like they're rolling for right now. Samo somehow finds this K in the back. Safin just left out in the lurch a little bit. Healing capabilities right now kind of diminished for the side of DePaul University, and they're going to opt to back up at least a little bit.
The turret does not miss whatsoever, and able to at least pick off Safin when they think they're safe. This card, though, at least, as you said, continuing to go, now entering the final straight here. And still a decent tie bank here for the Blue Demons to work with.
Plenty of time. Tizguy is the first to fall. Defense loses their healer, takes a tank. I will make that trade every single day, Twin Salty. Nice stop right here. A couple ultimates coming on board as Window now falls. That amplification matrix for Lamborghini no longer present. Noob falls as well. DePaul's gotta come back and wait on this one.
Yeah, you can't int on this one. You try to make sure you get everybody together. Noob, Dragon Strike. It more isolates Rich with the rest of the team. It doesn't allow them to actually push in like they would have wanted because they have all the heals through that Ant Matrix from Lamborghini. So the Dragons on concept worked, but you kind of walled off the biggest barrier.
I have to agree right here. Zeph, their own barrier. Here comes the nano boost, and Zeph is just eating right now. This is a perfect situation for DePaul because they may be able to get out, but this is still a one-team fight. 2 more shots. Not even able to get out. Nels right there, and it's the Zen Chow. I love it. I love it. 550 health. What is that? I don't even care. That's what Tizguy says.
Hey, why not at that point? Because if you die, hey, you just get to respawn, and you know nobody else is going to be able to touch. And that was a big kill there from DePaul. Just able to take out Rich. Not able. I mean, they died during the animation for their flux. And now Zeph trying to turn around the other side.
Safin first to fall here. Nasty flank coming in. That immortality field, though, gonna be enough. Tizguy actually sectioning out Noobs right now. Noobs gets a lot more damage. Here's a little bit more. There's the melee on the end, and Noobs takes it. That's a big DPS duel 1 here for Noob, and almost loses it to the Zed on the backside. Decides to save their life, save their pride even perhaps. Kind of regroup for a little bit.
I at least like that Yukon's able to back up here. They have another fight here in this corner where there's only really one way to try and burst through, but beautiful pick off there, and it just forces the Huskies to try and back up a little bit. They do have, though, this overclock ready to go if they need to.
Immortality field there, and that's going to be Rich that's happy for it. Noob falls, kind of dances a little bit too much onto the lava. Nels has this online, but not even going to need it. Tizguy's getting super low, but a nice shot from Lamborghini, just keeping everybody up. University of Connecticut might have been a slow burn, but they've won this team fight.
Win the team fight. A lot of work to do, though, here still for the Blue Demons, as I would say they probably need to win this and try and capture second phase with about a minute left before the time is added back on. They want to have a decent chance of completing the map and forcing us to an overtime round. UConn, again, they got a lot of ults at their disposal if they want. Window probably used early here. Yep,
there's Window. Speaking of Chalapir, accretion right now, and that's a really wonky dragon that goes absolutely nowhere. Noobs wastes the only ultimate on the side of DePaul. That's a lot of attention. Rich finds it, and the accretion does land right there. Rich still doing battle with Noobs, gonna have the support to be able to get it, and again, even though it might have been a little bit of back and forth, University of Connecticut, the Huskies hold strong. Like you said, a minute or so, that's another long team fight. One more long team fight, that is.
Yeah, I think if they want a comfortable amount of time left, they need to complete. I think this fight, they need to win it. But obviously, I would say 2 to 3 fights if you use the full-on time bank here for DePaul just to give him a chance. Dead End, though, is going to struggle to get value out of this Deadeye, and more just use it to try and deny some space and at least give yourself some space.
See how this one goes. On board right now with Nels, the DPS hero right now. There's the High Noon, just uses a little bit of barrier. That's so smart. There's the Trance on the other side. Tiz guys keeping squads alive and can't quite deal with the heat. DePaul University Cassidy. Nels finds a second. That's going to be almost a full team wipe. Nope, it is going to be a full team wipe. One more team fight here, one more chance to wrap this up. 3-1.
Just not able to complete the kills if you're DePaul. The Deadeye Nano does not work. No kills come from it, and now it does end over Soldiers. Safin on Moira. You're banking a lot on Zeph to get something out of this, because that's the only real ult you're going to have this fight.
Yeah.
The good thing is, Tiz guys did have to use Transcendence during the previous fight to make sure everybody stayed up, so you won't have that direct counter. And as long as you can get rid of that Immortality field, you could be lining yourselves up for some picks.
Yeah, this is really in the hands of Lamborghini right now for the side of University of Connecticut. Zeph getting so aggressive. The Flux says land. That's the first one. Lamborghini with another window right here. There's only one player that has fallen. Just Immortality fields and turrets on the other side. Gotta get aggressive right now for DePaul University, trying to send some under this tank. That's a tiny shield. You cannot let Get Rich get this Gravitic Flux. Rich just stays in the middle of a dragon, still able to keep this one up, but not on the other side. Tiz guys Samo deleted out from here. That is up, but that's 5 players, and that's not going to be enough. Overtime it may have happened, but DePaul University has opened up second point.
Everybody was still in a mortality field, and even if I don't think they had enough follow-up to try and finish it off, but I respect the play there from Rich. As you said, overtime it takes for them to at least complete it. So if you're UConn, you have a decent comfortability still. Hey, this third phase is still very difficult to try and push through. They had to use a lot in that fight just to make sure they could even continue on this map. Obscure does have Ant Matrix, Safin, Coalescence as well, so they could open it up here, and as long as they can win early, they have a decent chance here to finish with time.
We have both support ultimates online here for DePaul, and that's a good news. You're a Blue Devils fan. Rich has just been playing this corner perfectly, but now he's sectioned out with a squad. From the top here, Coalescence is out and forces them off of Immortality Field as well. Might as well have destroyed it. Tiz guys very early Trance in this team fight as well, as this is going to be Dead Zendo just kind of getting badgered by the Sigma on point. There's enough, and the main tank for University of Connecticut's done. And we have a attack visor here for Datsun, and we have dragons. DePaul University just turned nothing into something, spun gold from straw. They're going to be coming in right now. Slow picks on the backside, and nobody gets it. DePaul University finishes out this map.
Wow. That's all I gotta say. That's it. And a map that people don't normally finish in general. Both teams able to finish with time. Even though DePaul, I would say, a little bit more stress involved with theirs. It took them a little bit longer to get going, but man, this is not where UConn, I bet, thought they would be. Because on the offense, they looked so great. And on a map like this, again, if you you finish the map, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, but just couldn't get it together near the end. DePaul is able to build the momentum and not allow UConn to try and take it back near the end of it. It will be DePaul, though, attacking first because they had less time by 24 seconds. And they were able to stick to the Soldier right away, not even going to try and mess with the Cassidy or the Torb. Neither of them worked very well. Going to have that continued long range instead of just that from New.
I like this as well because it's a lot of burst damage against the expected Samo Torbjorn. This turret, it quite literally the 6th man. A lot of extra damage from there. See how DePaul does it. Now, 24 seconds might seem like just that, but that is like 2 short team fights or like a decently long team fight when you talk about overtime. That is that very, very reasonably could spell out the difference between the University of Connecticut's offense and DePaul University's offense. See how this one goes. DePaul University probably want to opt to like not even go down main with all 5 players. There was a little bit of Cassidy flanking action earlier. Looks like this one's at least going to be started here.
I think Soldier and Moira are both on the right side, at least currently.
Yep. There's the attention. Damage orb out. Rich immediately flips over this one, but now they're forced to give up this high ground. Samo taken out early as well. DePaul University And Nels isn't even involved right now. Nels is shooting at nothing. There's no damage up front. What is going on?
They just have to back up. They can't afford to lose this badly, and it's getting just worse and worse by the minute.
Oh my
This guy
God.
is taken out. It should be the
gotta
rest
chase
of
this
the
down,
team
right?
living
Okay.
rich will live, but man, what a nice start. It's just a slight distraction. They half of a second difference on when everybody jumped down, and DePaul able to capitalize.
And of course, this is overtime. There will not be time added right here. But now a minute and a half away. Rich comes down early. Immortality Field taken out. Can't even do anything. We have gotten another point here off of a minute of time. DePaul University literally looks good right now to finish out this map. That's insane.
This is ridiculous from them, and now they can continue pushing it forward. All the
They
Huskies
have,
die, and Huskies, they will have Amp Matrix, but that hurts. That is a crucial stagger. Tiz guy is taken out with a nice little shot from Noob, and that gives them basically Dragon Strike they can use early just to create even more space and deny the value of the only ultimate you can't have.
I mean, Zeph is going to be able to have that online here soon. Sectioned out. That Immortality Field doesn't land. Saf and Noob combined for 2. That's a healer. That's a tank. This is going to be another University of Connecticut, like, just shy of team wipe. DePaul University have purchased so much space right here off of, what, 3 ultimates so far? No, excuse me. This is only 1 ultimate. That's only been Noob's.
One. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
only
only
been
been
Noobs.
Noobs,
It's just
wow,
been them
okay.
being clinical and finishing off these fights early. They will easily earn second phase. No fight even in second phase to be had. Everything was had here in the third. And now UConn, you're getting desperate. You need to win this for it at least to be attainable.
Yeah, I mean, the question was about first point. They got to second point, and it was good. They're in third right now. Here comes the Flux. Shields through the both, so that's going to negate out a lot of advantage here early. There's a Coalescence. Now, no other ultimates need to be popped here for DePaul University. Back to the outside. Nels just gets bullied by a support yet again. And is that the 3rd team kill?
Yeah, this push. It is the 3rd team kill. This push alone, and DePaul just keep on rolling. And now Tac Visor almost online. The window to go with it. At this point, you could just use Sigma ult. If nobody touches, this overtime timer will take down extremely fast.
Here it comes. There's on top. Got to get on top of it. Nice job from Safin realizing this one. But Nels finds one. Immediately taken down, though. The last player holding on to this one. Sigma on the other side. Rich now joining the Samo. Tiz guys finds a nice headshot. Safin taken out from there, but this is still going to be good. Here comes the Tac Visor as well. He's so low, can't keep it up. Rich gives them the attention immediately that they need. And like DePaul University doesn't finish this, but the fact that we're still saying that means, you know, they're a spitting distance away from that 3rd point, a spitting distance away from 6 points total, and this is going to be really hard for the Huskies.
We were saying that though about the blue demons, and look what they just did. Like, oh my goodness. It's the masterclass on how to take the advantage after a last second stall on a map like this. Everybody's, you know, throwing their bodies in to see if UConn can win it. And at that point they lose, they get a little bit split up. The only one that doesn't die is Tiz guys, and they get staggered. So then they're waiting for their flex support to try and get back. And it is just one after another. UConn couldn't get together as a full 5 until halfway through 3rd phase. That is absolutely ridiculous, but just amazing from DePaul to make sure they always were looking for the staggers. And now they set themselves up perfectly here to try and finish this series off. And honestly, the Soldiers been a good fit. It has been a great difference maker against everything UConn has been running, and they're going to stick to it.
Yeah, especially in a map and a match so far, really. These two teams have opted to pick almost mirror compositions with just a couple differences. Dat Zen, though, for DePaul University on the Soldier, the past, what, 2/3 of this map, or really only like half of this map, really, has really been the difference maker up to this point. Safin been doing a great job on the Moira. That was also a more recent change. Mostly been seeing them on to other healers. That was Obscure. That was mostly playing that Zen earlier as well. Minute 24 doesn't seem like a whole lot right now, especially if your University of Connecticut squad is staring down the barrel of 5 total points here on Shambhala Monastery. Right down the middle. Not giving them any flack, really, from up top so far as DePaul. Getting right to it. No reason to waste time, mince words. Lamborghini first to fall. Well-placed headshot there from Noobs as Rich is left to kind of fight this one with their counterpart right now. that's the first. They really only need to do this one more time here, Twin Salty.
Yeah, one
Or
maybe
take a stagger?
stall left. Yeah, as Nelson's trying to get something, trying to figure out anything, any opening for the Huskies. You know, the ultimates will not be a factor at least until overtime.
30 seconds remaining.
Closest to it right now is Obscure. Baptiste over here on the side of DePaul. We get Attack Visor on board with, especially if Rich uses up their projected barrier. That is going to be enough. And Rich has just been getting so aggressive right here. It's his guy's Immortality Field. Gives him a little bit of space. Now in the back, Noob takes out their counterpart. The Kuriko getting a lot of attention, and he being near a Sigma in this situation. Not going to be ideal. More attention outside. Healers down. Overtime goes. And DePaul University has won this matchup 3-1 fashion. No touches on the other side. And everything in a bag of chips on Shambhala Monastery. My goodness. 5-3 is the ending scoreline here on this map.
That was just... What a comeback
Masterclass
for the map
Masterclass
from them. That was ridiculous. You should not... After the defense they had, which was not great, right? Like, their defense, they struggled at times. They were able to hold here during second phase during a little bit, but that was really about it. But at that point, once they got into the offense, they make the slight little change, right? And just how they're going at these fights, and it just catapults them. Every single fight was going their way. And you got to think, if you're the Huskies, what in the hell just happened? Because you had that map in your hands, and it just all of a sudden slipped out of your fingers.
Yeah, like literally so close you could taste this map 5 if you're a Huskies member, but unfortunately, hey, that's the way they go. Every match's got to have a winner, got to have a loser. Huskies drop to 4-9. DePaul University improves to 4-9. We're going to be going very, very short break, and then we're going to get one of these players on in, a little interview action for you guys. After that, it'll be St. John's taking on Marquette for our last match here on EGF Overwatch. Back with you guys in just a little minute. EGFC. We got a little interview action coming at you. We got Safin on here on the call with us. Safin, you with us?
Yeah, it's great to be here.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you. First off, congratulations on the victory right there. And gonna hop right on into this one. Gotta ask, and I'll reserve here. I'll reserve map 4 questions for Twin Salty. How about that? I just want to ask kind of how this game kind of changed from map 1. Did you guys won 2-1? Map 2, did you guys won 2-1? But then the map 3, when that was the Huskies kind of coming back a little bit on that was New Queen Street. They won 2-1. What changed between map 1 and 2 and then the map 3?
Well, to be honest, not much. I mean, between maps 2 and 3, our morale was really high, and we might have jinxed it there a little. We kind of dropped the ball. And so, after map 3, we were like, what are we doing wrong? What can we do to improve? And we kind of got our shit back together.
We hear you.
Yeah, it definitely got it back together, that's for sure. Even the beginning of map 4 wasn't the greatest, like, for you guys. How was it when you guys started getting going on that attack? Did it feel like the momentum was fully swinging back in your favor, or did you feel like you still had to win every fight cleanly so they wouldn't take it back?
Well, we definitely had more of a cautious approach. So we weren't fully confident. We were definitely more on the cautious side, but as the map kept on rolling, we kept that cautious mindset, and overall it paid off for us. We weren't, as cocky as we were in those previous maps.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best runs on Shambali we've seen in a long time. So you guys now improved to 4-9. You play a very decent St. John's team next week. How are you guys feeling about this split, especially? Because you guys seem to be at a completely new level than you were back in fall.
Honestly, I don't know the feel. Well, we as a team are kind of rocky just because we've got stuff going on where we can't have our main tank player peer or main support player. So, kind of like uncertain, but we'll get it together. We always do.
Yeah.
Hey, that positive mental attitude, that PMA, that's usually going to be name of the game, right? That deciding factor in so many of these competitions. But Safin, thank you for coming on in, giving us a minute of your time after the game. As we all know, and it's true, great game of Overwatch 2. No W is taken alone. I want to ask you if you have any shout-outs.
Yeah, well, I want to put out a shout out to Zafe, who played tank today. Normally he plays support, but because our main tank player wasn't available, he was able to step up to the plate. He's a really good leader for our team when, main tank's not available. Definitely kind of the rock and the core of our team. Quick shout out to Noob, our DPS player. He definitely brings up that energy and momentum that our team's got. Lots of firepower, gets lots of good kills. Also, last shout out to that Zendo, who is our other DPS. Because lately we've been struggling a bit, and there's been some beef going on. But he's been there, and he's been strong, and he's been bringing the heat. Definitely bringing the heat.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There you go. There you go. Perseverance through tough times here, folks. That's the DePaul University story that I'm hearing. Safin, once again, thank you for coming on in. Give us a minute of your time after the game. And congratulations on the victory. And we'll see you again. But only if you win, because we only have winners in our interview box. Man, I can't talk today. Oh, well. Safin, thank you once again.
See ya.
See you around. See you around. Next up on the chopping block here, folks, for EGFC, little St. John's University action taking on Marquette in about, 15 minutes or so here. Twin Salty, do we have anything else for the good people before we go to a very short break and get that one set up?
I'll say, hey, UConn, it was a rough game. A lot of good VOD reviews can come out of this, but we know this Husky team. We know what they can do. I have no doubt they'll be able to bring the heat next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if DePaul had a pretty good eye in this next matchup with St. John's playing, so I'll have to wait and see if St. John's is able to take the dub heading into their match next week.
Yes, we will see. And when we return here in just a little bit, St. John's Marquette. Hello and welcome back, Overwatch fans. FBI Tugboat here with my man Twin Salty. We just watched DePaul University take down the Blue Huskies, 3-1 fashion, kind of giving them a little bit back of what they got in week 1 of the EGFC here, Twin Salty.
Yeah, a little bit of revenge over there, and I think the Blue Demons will be enjoying that one for a long time. And now their opponent for next week is in action. St. John's versus Marquette. Marquette, a team that's been looking better as of late. And yeah, I still think has a little bit to go, especially against a team like St. John's, who is incredibly solid.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. It's entirely fair. We can take a look at the specific standings coming up here in just a second, but it is fair to state, it is just numerically true, that St. John's University is 7-4, whereas Marquette is unfortunately only able to manage to find them one W thus far match-wise. Now, they have taken maps other than that, but only one match thereof. Coming on into this, we'll be looking at the exact same maps, though, here, Twin Salty.
Yeah, same map pool for everybody this week. So Lijiang, Paraiso, and New Queen Street to start us off. If I'm reading this series correctly, I don't know if we're going over to Nepal or Shambhala Monastery. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
That's fair.
chance, obviously. I think it's definitely the pressure's on Marquette to try and take down or at least pressure one of the better teams in the league as of recent. So obviously a lot of the pressure is on them. St. John's just has to do what they normally are able to do. I would say the one benefit for Marquette, though, is they've been running the ball comp a lot recently. And I'm not sure how much St. John's has seen it in scrims and matches. So they may be able to at least get that working early on.
Well, I hear you. Ball's obviously gotten a couple changes coming to that hero as of recent, past couple of months and whatnot. A lot of shakeups with our tank players in general. We'll see how this one goes, especially given that we are looking at not a whole lot of subs coming on in here. We're going to be looking at Control Center up first for Lijiang, though. Getting on into this one. Marquette on the right in the red, headed by, reaching for no help. Axe Hand, Stomps 10, Royal Ranger, and Squid. It's your Marquette University squad.
And St. John's, you got a lot of the normals around. You got Jake, Jolton Joe, Joey Baloney, been around for a while, and Bappo, and Mr. Koalaman as well, rounding out the St. John's roster. They'll be going to normal rush. They see over here on Control Center with the sim. It seems like both teams actually will be running that, except just no sim on the side of Marquette. Just gonna try to run it down without that teleport to start us off, or those turrets.
I gotta say, taking a look at these, taking a look at the names, I think I like Joey Baloney or maybe Jolton Joe the best. Royal Ranger's got something that kind of rolls off the tongue. Reaching for no help is a little bit morbid, I gotta say. Just like the first pick. Oh, I called it too early. Sorry, guys. That's going to be Mortality Field. Didn't quite see the Baptiste right there. Speaking of first pick, that is not a great way for St. John's to take it. Stomps finds 1, then 2. Marquette University. Okay. I see you.
This is the start they needed, right? Like, they need to punch him straight away. Like, hey, we're here. We're not going to be a pushover in this series. And you got to respect us in what we're doing. And that is a great way to start it off. And now those May walls could make life for Jolton Joe a little tricky.
A-Walls, pillar in the middle. Jolton Joe on board right now, swinging for the fences. Nice shatter. The stun lands on the other side, but a lot of damage, and that's going to be St. John's wiping with a quadruple kill on the other side. That's a full team kill. St. John's University takes this one back.
What a shatter. Just to know, like, hey, I may get pinned during this, but going to land it down. 3 members of Marquette, we're all trying to get used to the M-Matrix taken down, and denies that ultimate from even getting anything done.
He has to charge in. That Maywall is up. Marquette's Brian doesn't really get a whole lot of places on this Axe Hand right behind there. Reinhardt, as of right now, Immortality Field invested a little bit early, and Jake's going to read that one out. Realize that's the first step. Reaching for no help. Super low as of right now. Has that on board. Now sliding to trying to get back with the rest of the team. This Reinhardt shield has mostly blocked this one away. Stomps falls. Marquette University on the back foot.
And now at this point, can you just live Draxan? And the answer is probably not. Jake able to get a 3-piece. Nice little headshot to finish it off. And St. John's, I think, have started to slowly settle into this. They do have that shatter ready to go. Stomps has theirs as well. The question will be, will this Blizzard be used early here from Axan to try and just take over some of this space? or will it be the sound barrier from Joey Baloney to cancel it out?
I think that's the Joey Baloney sound barrier that's going to really spell the difference right here if they can get it off and if it's going to be section. Nice hit right there. There's the sound barrier as well. That's a blizzard on the backside. Jake, the only one to fall until Jolton Joe can't jump out. The source of danger is 69 hit. Nice. Percentage damage for St. John's University. Marquette University going to be ticking on their own points.
If the sound barrier helps them a little bit, it allows most of them to get out, just not for them to win the overall fight. Now, Ant Matrix used very early from Marquette, just to stall a little bit of time, try to build up a few of those ultimates back up and reach for no help. It has his overclock ready. They've been landing a lot of these regular shots. It's not a lot of railgun headshots quite yet.
Well, not quite yet. A lot of ultimates on board both of these sides. Defense, offense. There's the high noon though. Jake, oh my goodness. Finds one. Finds a little bit on the back side as the shatter lands from Jumpin' Jolton Joe. There's a full 5. That's a team kill bell. Oh, I thought we were going to see
St. John's, they're just so clean when they get into some of these fights and they know exactly what they're doing. Yes, here and there, not going their way. You know, the Blizzard last round was very good from Axe Hand, but again, as soon as one of the key ultimates from Marquette is used, it's like, no, Shatter is just going down. You're not getting anything from it. We're just going to deny it right away.
Oh my goodness, Jake. Headhunter out here. The Cassidy lands. Immortality Field invested. Marquette University just left looking. Reaching for no help. Morbid name. Good shots, though. That's going to be enough for St. John's early, I believe.
Yep, able to finish it off. Seemed like Marquette was almost able to get a touch in, but just not quite able to at the end. And I will say, Marquette fought him, at least pushed him a little bit more than I think St. John's were even expecting, but it still is the St. John's first round win. Now heading over to Gardens. We could see a lot of the same, but yeah, more than likely, for the dive coming out, a little bit more Farah and Echo action as well. Accent currently teasing the Farah that was a big part of their only win of the season so far. St. John's going over just, again, full dive. Jolton Joe on this Winston. Koalaman, though, I will say, on the Echo, a little bit of a different pick. More just to try and contest Axe Hand and Squid in the air.
I really like playing fair on this map a whole lot. Axe Hand now in Marquette University going to be looking at this one. Got the Mercy Pocket as well. That's going to be an early boop as well. Nicely done. This team fight getting figured out early.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to start it off. You're actually don't have to do anything much and just able to get that first pick, but stomps, get straighted out.
Early pick as well, so that's going to be main tank, only tank. I keep saying main tank when we're playing Overwatch 1. Marquette University losing that one after the initial. Back to it, and that's going to be St. John's now taking points of their own for the first time in round number 2.
This fight, it's kind of everybody poking at each other, trying to figure out how they want to engage into this. Stomps goes in with the roll, use those adaptive shields, and just tries to get on out, but they won't be able to. Burn down by Jolton Joe, and Marquette just trying to figure out how they want to go at this because they really, there's no way for them in, right? There's no shielding for them with the Wrecking Bolt. They have to figure out their own path with barely any protection other than the natural cover given by the map.
Yeah, I mean, and the Axe Hand kind of cover from above is a decent start, but the simple fact that this Echo can just always meet them up there would be really hard. Now this barrage is online. Getting it going is a different story. Suzu might even have to be invested here. There's the bubble, though, and that's going to be the first effort. No, so Kitsune rushed, invested as well. St. John's University going to go up past 50.
This is the St. John's we're so used to, right? They have slowly crept into their comfort zone, but as I'm saying that, reach for no help is like, yeah, you can't get too comfortable, though. He'll hit the nice little head rail shot onto Koalaman, and it gives him a little bit of time to fully rotate over here to White Room with this barrage slowly creeping in.
See how this one works. Oh, there's the barrage. That's a way in edgewise. That's a super low, but now actually finds it. This Mercy gonna be trying to res in the back, I think. Shots out. That's gonna be the res, but then a kill afterwards. Jolton Joe gonna find 2 with the same primal rage. Stomps still inside, so it looks like St. John's should be able to hold on to this when the copy comes onto the Farah, and that will be enough.
The question is, can anybody even touch at this point if you are Marquette? And it's looking more and more like the answer to that is no. St. John's, decent start here. Marquette at least able to push them a little bit, but St. John's eventually settle in, take map 1, and Reach for No Help didn't even get to use Overclock during that second round.
Yeah.
They eventually got it, but during the previous fight, they got caught out early, never able to use it, and a lot of it is just Jolt and Joe setting the pace and tempo.
Taking a look at this one. Yeah, the sound barrier not able to really keep that team fully alive. The Reinhardt play on that map number 1. I believe that was the quadruple. Yes, it was. Fantastic stuff there. St. John's University, like you said, really looking like the 7-4 squad that we have come to know here throughout this EGF season. 7-4, and again, this is a conference matchup. This is an East conference matchup.
You have East versus East. Marquette, admittedly, not far from where I am right now. A good, 40-minute drive, and you're up to Marquette campus. Okay. So, hey, I can't blame them for, enjoying it a little bit. It's not like it's nice outside whatsoever, so why not stay in and play some EGF? I liked some of the looks from Marquette. The ball didn't work, admittedly. Like, that is the round it should have worked, and it didn't. Pariso is at least another map where it could work. Like, there's, again, a lot of places where ball can kind of weave in and out of the alleyways, a lot of high ground for them to mess with as well. So it's something they could run, but I think St. John's know exactly what they're doing against this ball comp, and Marquette may need to change it up just a little bit.
Yeah, I think that if St. John's continues going on with like this same kind of performance, eventually we'll reach a point where to Marquette, it's like almost like pick wonky things, just pick different stuff, throw a lot against the wall and see what it sticks, right? Got to see how this one goes forth and kind of shakes out. Are getting confirmed here. Marquette will be on defense on the Pariso to start this one out. So St. John's really going to be able to show off what they have on offense. As far as predictions here, offensive-wise, I mean, maybe not the Echo so much on Pariso, but I don't see why St. John's would fix it if it ain't broke.
It's a decent way to try and contest the pharmacy combo up in the air. Even if it is, you're not landing a ton of shots. It's just the pressure of the focusing beam, right? If they get to half health, you can just finish them right away. So the dive comp as well is ridiculously good here. So as you said, maybe not the Echo, but the overall general idea of the composition should be, hey, I can't speak either, man. Still should be good on this map, especially with the way they've been playing it recently. Marquette not showing a decent counter to it so far. And, Jake, it's weird because he slides behind the background sometimes in some of these maps. Jolt and Joe's getting a ton of picks, and Koala Man's getting it done. Their support line is one of the best in the conference. But Jake, from time to time, just decides he's not going to miss whatsoever. We saw it at Control Center, just bang, 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 3 kills right in a line. When he gets to be that hot, this team all of a sudden goes from mid-table, a slightly over mid-table team to a team that could be a dark horse later on if they can make it consistent.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with you. Joe, jumping, or excuse me, I've been jaying too much. Been going out here with the alliteration too much. We do have a confirm as well. Little sub action coming in for Marquette, and I'm not talking about sandwiches. That is Axe Hand coming on out here. Zippy going to be playing for this. So that was Reaching for No Help playing the Echo. A couple of the DPS characters. They will be now joined by Zippy.
Yeah, Zippy has been a one that they've tried to sub in here and there. Didn't play a lot last week or the week before. And I expect a lot of Soldier coming out of them. Maybe some Tracer as well. Not as much, Axe Hand is a little more flexible. They want to show the May. They want to show, the Cassidy, a few more of these different looks. It is definitely more from them like, hey, we're going to run Tracer. We are going to run Soldier, as they're teasing the Soldier right now. Trying to give Reach for No Help just a little bit more assistance in that long-range battle as they are, again, on the defense. First lane set up all over this high ground with Squid staying on the Mercer just to give one of them a pocket. I'm assuming it'd be Reach for No Help. St. John's actually swapping it up a little more than I thought they would. The Sim is teased as of now, so maybe instead of trying to dive the high ground, just teleporting straight over point. Nope. As I'm saying it, they swap over, and now, again, overall dive, just a little bit of difference here. Jolt and Joe deciding to go with the Diva to try and absorb some of that DPS long-range fighter instead of the Winston bubble.
I'm not against a Diva on this map. I think we've kind of become accustomed to Pariso, even though relatively newer, obviously, to a lot of Winston play, especially on the first. See a Bappo and a grenade just kind of come flying across the screen. Tried to hit that one, didn't quite get to it. A lot of aggression here and early. Zippy forced to rotate with the squad. St. John's University is literally getting damage in from like 4 different points right now. One from on stairs, 2 from under just overpass right now. So wise decision from Zippy to simply back on up right there. They have their own healing sources. Need to get this one done. Jake will be taking that one out. The early Baptiste ultimate or ability, excuse me, immortality field invested from Royal Ranger, and St. John's University gonna hold on right now.
Slowly pick away at it, and you realize like, hey, Marquette's not giving up bridge as easily as a lot of teams do. Why not just throw somebody up there? The Diva will live anyway, and they're able to pick up 2, and at that point, Jake's able to finish up a few as well, and St. John's feeling very good about themselves. It will be this first point cap, and now we'll begin Streets phase with lots of time available here for St. John's, and the Golden Eagles just gotta figure out how they even want to try and stop the bleeding, as it just not stopped since map 1.
Yeah, there was a little bit of back and forth, folks. If you'll remember, Marquette came out a-swinging. Map 1 on Lijiang. That is unfortunately a thing of the past. This is a whole lot of time, and St. John's hasn't come off a point in quite a while. Shots and more. Jake getting a lot going in right now. The simple fact that Jake is just getting so much space right here to get so much done is just crazy. Already charged to 100. They'll join in with the rest. Got to slide to get there quickly if they need to. A bunch of attention. Jake used the... See, that's the wise decision. See, me, I'm thinking, oh, we'll slide on in there, getting with it. Jake didn't have that slide. They'd be lost against that soldier about 2 seconds ago. Still got the overclock on board right here. That's going to be a first to fall situation. Joey Baloney made mincemeat of Zippy. Takes out a little bit against Jolton Joe as well. So St. John's forced to come back for the first time on Paris, though.
There's so many different buildings they can just be chilling up on this defense, right? You got this near pink building, you got the back right over the supermarket, and then even farther top right, you can just bait around the side. You have so much natural protection. It is so hard for a team on offense to try and figure out how they want to, which side do you dive? Because no matter what, they can get an easy escape. And so it looks like they're trying just to rotate all the way around, so they don't have to use as much movement abilities to contest Zippy.
Speaking of, got this attack visor online. Jake is just absolutely rolling right now. Now 3, now 4. Let's get on over to him, see if they get the 5th.
Nope. Or at least not yet. They could maybe get it late. No, it seems like Zippy is able to get the heck out of dodge, but what a play from Jake. Again, when this guy is on, he's one of the scariest damage in the league. Able to get 4 with the overclock. Sets St. John's up very nicely here with Marquette. No way to even answer it at that point in time.
Kind of channeling their inner former Outlaws player, perhaps, right there. DPS phenom in and of themselves. Reach for no help. Taking out Joey Baloney and showing what they can do on DPS. Zippy, the next to fall is Jake. It's way too aggressive. Now taken out by that Sigma. Little gravitic flux on the backside there, making mincemeat there. Shots down bottom. Not even 100% sure. Yes, that was Royal Ranger, which was a lot of damage up close. That's going to be a nice shot. Royal Ranger taken out. Stomps. Doesn't let Jolting Joe back on in. And now it is the Region for No Help's turn to go forth and absolutely feast on this Sojourn.
He's like, okay, I got a little bit of a Sojourn out my sleeve as well. A big thing for Marquette. They didn't have to use a lot, honestly, there. They still have this gravitic flux. They'll have to try and bait it out, either from the attack visor from Zippy or vice versa. Use the flux to bait it out. For attack visor, just whichever one you're more comfortable in, or whichever one the setting fits most, as they're just trying to contest a little bit of this high ground, knowing that they can't contest for too long, more to stall for a little bit of time.
I mean, still, yeah, plenty of time on board. Here comes the flux. Wow, jumping, or jolt. Oh my god, I keep doing it. Jolting Joe gonna be taken out. That one out now. Actually, this. Ooh, I just sneezed. That Zenyatta ultimate is maybe a little bit early right there. Squid, Stomps, both deleted. Joe and Joey. Jolton Joe and Joey Baloney gonna be able to finish this one up with a couple kills. Now 3 minutes left on Clariso as we're looking at map number 3.
And these staggers are just crucial. Squid taken out, and Marquette You could tell they were waiting for the Transcendence. Zippy just pops it a little early, though. And for most of the attack visor, the Transcendence still negating all that damage going through, and Marquette's playing just unravels in front of them. The Zen on paper is a little risky, but you're playing a lot for these picks with these Discord orbs, and so far St. John's been able to punish extremely well on the isolated targets.
And just biggest effect for Joey Baloney when they're alive, of course, is going to be over more so. There's the absolute feast coming in. Couple shots, can't quite land it. The last one. Oh. Jake with the nano boost. My goodness, or not the nano boost, excuse me, with the overclock.
They're even able to pick off Squid near the end. You said it, like 20 health I think they got away with initially, but able to snipe them out of the way. And man, this St. John's team just keeps on rolling. Self-destruct in their favor. Pulse bomb as well, able to be used if they would like. Probably just draw out this immortality field early on here from Royal Ranger.
I mean, they basically have the same cooldowns, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, Royal Ranger gonna have that amplification matrix up as well here in just a little bit. Joey Baloney not too far away from theirs. Healing orb on board, know where this was going. Got the sticky, there it is, nice stick! That's gonna be enough for the damage secondarily, and enough for the immortality field first. Reach for no help, nice headshot. Squid, Zippy, both deleted. Jake is just, again, feasting yet again. Last couple players right there. Jake gets it, damage from the Diva, damage from the Sojourn, gonna be enough. Next on the chopping block right here. Should be, okay, actually no, that's a Gravitic Flux, maybe enough? No, that's enough to take out Bappo. So St. John's gonna have to do the rest of this one. Well, there wasn't that much to be done, I suppose. Still taking this one, 1:02 it says.
Yep, just enough time to where if Marquette completes the map by an OT, they will not get that crucial overtime push. So those last few little seconds that Marquette was not able to touch could come back to bite them. We'll have to wait. You know, we'll see if Marquette's able to, though, as, again, Jake is just in a ridiculous way right now, just carrying this team. It's not in a negative way, I say that, to where, you know, sometimes there is somebody who absolutely carries a team every single time. We have a disconnect thing that's for each for no help, so we'll come back to us just for a moment here. But this time around, it's because St. John's know that, hey, when Jake's on it, he can just win the fights by themselves. But even though he's not always on that, they have other ways to either facilitate him or the rest of the team. So it's just another weapon in their arsenal to try and launch at Marquette or anybody they're playing.
You know, it's one of those things that if you disregard, like, you know, situationally relevant geographical information, aka positioning, really, like, who do you even go for first on the St. John's roster? Obviously, you know, taking out main support's not not going to be a bad move. Getting a lot of attention and damage on a tank early is not going to be a bad move. But like you said, Jake it seems like they can find picks no matter what positioning, even without overclock. Sometimes stuff is crazy.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta be like, hey, you know, this guy's hot. You just put resources into him. And at this point, St. John's, it's exactly what they're doing. Like, hey, Jake's doing it. All right, you know, we're going to give him defense matrix. We're going to try and give them, and we're going to call out every single Discord orb to even finish off those targets faster. And it just seems like no matter what St. John's is doing, the communication is there. And that just comes with being at roster for as long as they have, at least this core. You know, Jake is relatively on the newer side. You know, Joy Baloney and Jolton Joe have been around for a long time with this team. And the veteran leadership definitely showing up here.
Yeah, and to your point right there, I think that the in-game leadership, right? That's really what we can talk about at this point. It's so clear, like, that this team has played together for a long time, really just firing on all cylinders and very well coordinated, and that comes off the back of communications here, Twin Salty.
Exactly. You know, like, hey, I can count on everybody to make the right calls. I don't have to worry about, hey, are they making the right calls? Do I need to help cover if they're not saying anything? Are they not going to talk? With, you know, a lot of new teams do that. But this team, they don't struggle like that. They're instantly, okay, I know exactly what my teammate's doing. It's fine. I trust them to do exactly what they need to do in the moment. And it seems like for Marquette, sometimes that just isn't there. Again, this is a newer team. They just joined us this season. They made a few swaps as well. You know, Reach for No Help is new for this semester. I believe Stomps is as well. So there's a lot of different things here. They've finally settled in on the roles, because even back, beginning of the split, they were role swapping every map. So now that they've settled in on that, it'll just take a little bit of time for them to try and settle in these comm structures. And, we'll have to see if it gets better here over on their attack, going back to that ball comp that they lean on so much.
Yeah, so 4 minutes total here for Marquette University. How will they deal with it? For open up first point, it's obviously the name of the game. This is going to be some really crucial kind of pick comp situations that's going to come off the back of stomps if they can get something going here. Initial team fights onto Jolt and Joe here, opposing tank. Stomps on the rotation right here, going to be joined with Zippy as they come in. This map will be won or lost based on offenses like this, and Stomps cannot quite get it. I think that was literally just the D.Va back up top. A lot of damage, as we see from Mr. Koala Man.
It was just everybody. They got body blocked. They just got cornered by everybody. It's like, yeah, it's a good idea to dive us all when we're all together, but not when you don't have an exit. So instant Discord orb. And at that point, just able to finish everybody up and finish them up extremely fast. And they're almost taken out yet again as soon as they roll back in. Just have to go back, get that mega, give their supports a little more ult charge.
Yeah, and especially because Stomps has to rely so heavily onto these megas. This is just damage and edgewise. Otherwise, the Marquette's forced to go forth and get, and Stomps is just following the exact same path every time. Now a hit down bottom. At least there's a little bit of attention onto this point finally, but St. John's doesn't bite quite yet. Ball stays up top. Now the D.Va down bottom will be able to help out here, and also this is just a super medium range squad here from St. John's University. D.Va the only one that doesn't really have any sort of medium or longer range capabilities, especially with a turret. It's gonna be placed on to defense. There's enough. No, nicely done, but yeah, not gonna be able to get out of that one. Zippy actually comes back and takes a kill, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, at least able to get one. The res won't be able to come through either. Oh, and we got another pause. I'm guessing auto pause in lobby would be my assumption, seeing that, there's a self-destruct literally about to explode on point. So we'll go off screen just for a second when they figure that out. But Marquette, I don't mind the strategy they're going for here. They're just slowly trying to poke away. It's just St. John's are playing it extremely smart. They're playing backside, high ground. It's so hard to put pressure up there. And, we saw it the first time Stomps tried to go up there. They get deleted in 2 seconds. So just trying to make sure they put a little bit of pressure here and there and just try and force that pick.
Yeah, especially given they're just using, hard cover right there in this hallway to back on their backside right there. Just keeping a wall on your back is never going to be a bad move within a first-person shooter game, and really is just this Tracer and this ball that can even get up there. And so once they come, just turn attention on the inside. Tracer can get out. Ball, not the same kind of situation right there. Self-destruct going on a point. We'll hop back on this one just a minute. I believe that was 2 minutes and 3 seconds or something like that for Marquette University's offensive push. Of course, St. John's has already gone up to 3 points right here. What was that?
I think it was just Purdue saying it was correct. I think we got about half the time bank left.
Okay, gotcha.
Give or take for Marquette. So, I don't mind what we're seeing from Marquette. They're showing us a few different looks, and they're showing us that, hey, we're adapting, right? We know going into this, it's a pretty massive rank disparity. I'm pretty sure Marquette is closer to Plat Diamond, St. John's, more Masters GM. So, again, there's going to be a little bit of a disparity there, and that's just, it happens when you have this many teams in a league. There's going to be some times where the team in last is going to play a team that's been playing really well recently. So I at least like to see the Marquette, we talked about it pregame. Yes, they're 1-10, but they're taking maps off some teams. And the maps that they're not taking, they're pushing at least a little bit on their offensive side. So not the worst thing here for the Golden Eagles. Maybe this pause, just reset, figure out, hey, what are we doing differently here that's working? And what do we still need to keep changing to make it work even better? Hopefully this tech pause isn't too bad. I believe it's on the Marquette side of things. St. John's side. Okay, so sorry. First pause was Marquette. This time it's St. John's. So hey, we can't control technology. I think we've all learned that. So hopefully their technology is able to get back online soon. But honestly, for Marquette, it's a nice timeout.
Yeah, no, exactly. And what you were saying there about the Like what you want to recreate, what you want to do again in future games, what you want to not allow your opponents to have happen. That's why sometimes these pauses, and definitely those times in between games, are some of the most important times of these. Teams go forth and kind of figure out what they want to do. Marquette University's been all over this. Now the main support down, Royal Ranger the last there. That's a purple as well. And Royal Ranger can't quite get out of this one. That is not first tick of progress, I believe. Yeah, no, it is not. That'll be trained all the way down. And Marquette's got another, what, minute 40? Another 100 seconds?
Yeah, a minute and a half. Probably 2 fights here. Considering how long these have gone, it's only been about 2 fights. Because Marquette are just slowly trying to pick away. And that's what you somewhat have to do on here. But now, trying to go in. Minefield trying to disturb high ground. Forces out Trank.
Yeah, so that's just a 1-for-1 right here. Joey Baloney didn't even necessarily need it, but now in a really, really bad position, actually. A lot of attention there, but Marquette's Sojourn and Moore are going to be able to get this one done. A Kitsune Rush, throw that one in the mix, and that might be enough for Marquette. They find a little bit of damage here. That D.Va barely gets out. The Pocket Mercy right now, keeping this offensive drive alive. Sojourn, attempted shots. Gonna be the D.Va back into things right here. Maybe even dedicates this body down bottom. Just trying to stall this out a little bit more. Not 100% sure. No. That ball actually keeps this one up top, and that's gonna be Marquette University opening up point 1.
Is the reverse of the body block that doomed them at that exact point just a few minutes ago. This time around, just keeps everybody from St. John's away. Nobody's able to touch, and at least Marquette continued to keep this rolling and not even needing to use that overclock that they desperately need to get something out of, especially to shut down this man who, admittedly, on this defense, been a little quiet.
That's entirely fair. It's entirely fair. Jake has that on the line, but hasn't really unleashed it quite yet. Shots initially. Just kind of peppering them in right here. St. John's opting for the high ground push yet again. Ball doing what Ball does, super aggressive and irritating things. And St. John's actually gets completely out of that minefield with no losses taken. Fantastic job. They'll have this next little elbow right here and try and stop this payload.
Overclock used early, yeah, for reach for no help, and just they don't see anybody. Nobody's around. They're able to deny. Jake picks up one, and just nobody's there.
Nice slide. Actually gets out. Suzu on the back side right there. St. John's University. Wait, no, excuse me. That was reaching. Squid falls in the middle of things right here. Marquette's offensive opportunity on this push is over.
Squid just not able to escape. I'm surprised Reach for No Help was able to, but as you said, nice little power slide to get them out at least temporarily. But, you know, used overclock. We said you had to get a lot, and just nobody's around. Everybody from St. John's hides, and one of the best ults in your arsenal is just blank.
Yeah, what the best block is to not be there. Wow, Stomps can't quite get the angle that they wanted right here, and it's just a slow burn afterwards. Yeah, this might be like a little bit of stall territory. Like
yeah, this is getting a little rougher from Marquette, as again they have pulse bomb, they have Valkyrie. Valkyrie probably more used to engage that, or when Transcendence is used to try and answer it. And this pulse bomb, you gotta think again. You gotta use it early. I would normally say onto the Zen, but the way Jake's playing, just throw it on Jake at this point. Try and get him out.
Mr. Koala Man. I think kind of sensing that this trap was unleashed behind them. That's a pick both sides. Tank, there you go. Overloaded, takes out the Mercy, so no res able to be popped on this one. That has been such a good thing that St. John's is doing as well. Like, they're able to take initial picks and whatnot, but the fact that they're not letting Squid get that res up so they can't delete that advantage they have taken, it's really been the name of the game. St. John's, 30 seconds left on their defense. Excuse me. What's up?
They always seem to have somebody there for res. Like, oh, as soon as somebody dies, that's not Mercy. A bodyguard's there. Like, hey,
Yep.
you're not resing this person. If you want to, okay, cool, but you're not going to be able to get it off, and it's been a consistent struggle for them all night.
Jake got that overclock on board yet again. Gonna be the Sojourn first. There's a nice res, so just as we talked about it, Squid actually able to get this one out. Trans here for Joey Baloney as overtime does hit. It can't even stay up afterwards. Reach for no help even after the res. This is a Squid Mercy. It's so hard to hit that player, but they come down bottom, and that's just an upzoning DOT. going to be enough. I believe it's just a slow burn. It is last player here, and that is St. John's in map number 2.
St. John's, again, using that high ground to their advantage, just letting their DPS do the work. And even Koala Man, just the turret, the pressure that it gave onto the Tracer, Zippy couldn't even get near the backline because they would get shot a few times by the turret. By the time they would even get near their half health, and they're forced to recall. This was Jake earlier, just 1, little 2, and this was just disgusting from them. Like, they didn't miss whatsoever, and the Nano is obviously a nice touch to make sure those kills go through, but wow. Again, this team, no matter where you look, they got weapons, and this map, and especially this map pool specifically, it just helps them so much. And, you know, we get ready for new Queen Street. Sojourn, you can just bounce in between Subway. There's a few high grounds you can mess with.
Yep.
I'd be a little scared if I was the Golden Eagles right now.
It's entirely fair. Entirely fair. Kind of see how high ground and more works on New Queen Street when we return from a very short break. Map 3 coming up. And we are back. We are here and we are live. FBI Tugboat with my man Twin Salty. This is St. John's University taking on Marquette University, a 7-4 up to this point. St. John's University taking on a 1-10 Marquette University up to this point. They're also 2-0 in the series as of right now, looking at a map 3 that is New Queen Street. It could be the last of this best of 5 series, Twin Salty.
It very well could be, and the way St. John's are playing right now, I wouldn't be shocked if it was. They're just grinding on all cylinders. And how can you stop a team right now that is, their communication has been great. Their peel, especially over on Parisa, was excellent against a ball comp that tries to expose holes in communication. And when in doubt, somebody's popping off, whether it be Joey Baloney or Jake or Jolton Joe. Somebody's raking in the kills to try and take a fight back. So a very tall task here for Marquette to try and come back from. We do have, I believe, one sub that'll change it up a little bit here, but we'll have to see if it's enough to Marquette to try and clinch this over to a map 4. And that will just be the small little sub here of Axehand going in for Reach for No Help.
Yeah, so the DPS core getting mixed up here. The trio being Reach for No Help, Axehand, and Zippy. We have not seen Axehand and Zippy paired up quite yet. That was going to be Axehand and Reaching for No Help earlier. We'll see how this one goes. As Squid, at least right now, showing the Lucio. Stomps. The Junker Queen. Do my eyes deceive me?
Not yet. It's weird because she's more of like, hey, anti-Doomfist and Ball. But I'm curious on how this Ryan interaction will go, because it's almost like you just took out Ryan, you put in Junker Queen, and it's almost the exact same comps. Or it is the exact same comps.
It is. Outside of that tank lineup, it is exact same compositions. I'm going to say here, Jolton Joe is going to have mild advantage. Swings and more. Now getting hyper aggressive. There's swings on a lot of different players, and that's the Immortality Field invested very early. Jake finds one. Squid first to fall. A lot of aggression right here out of the Junker Queen, out of the May. Axehand finds a little bit of a pick in the back. That's St. John's Joey Baloney falling early, but Marquette going to be losing this first team fight, giving up Robot.
Just trying to reset. This could work. It's just the fact that St. John's will try and just get Jolton Joe in and swing in the hammer. If he doesn't have to worry about his health, then this may be a wrap for Marquette, as that is when he is at his highest danger. But hey, I like this. Try and dive the back line real quick.
Okay. Yeah, and then the wall out, actually. Not 100% sure that was well timed. This May is just going to get swallowed up in the backfield right now. Nice pin. There you go. That's the danger about waiting out the freeze block, or the ice block all the way out, right?
Yeah, it's like, okay, if they can time it, they know, even like the noise cue, it's like, all right, they're in freezing. If they just wait the full time, 3, 2, 1, and Jolton Joe able to lock it up. Shatter online stomps is just going to give in. Swaps over to the Ryan and themselves. So now I got a full mirror matchup over here on New Queen Street. Marquette still in position here for one more fight before the tick.
I do like this. I do like this. Marquette coming up on a lot of ultimates right now. Axehand, Zippy, Royal Ranger, all going to be there soon. Bappo first to fall. Bappo has already had that one. It might be 12 o'clock there. Got to get the Immortality Field down. They do! And there you go! That's 4! Axehand, Squid, Stumps, Royal Ranger, all taking one to the cabeza. And Jake, even on the Cassidy right here. Even though they lost the 1v in the back, we're going to give it to him.
I will say, you know, Zippy did have an Ant Matrix as well to play off of. So I would say
That's
a little unfair there for Jake. But, man, you get 4. Your team is backed up a little bit here, knowing what you can do. But, hey, Shatter online, now they can just turn this right around.
There you go. There's the Shatter. All shall fall. There's 2. There's 4. And now the last one, that's Zippy once again in the back. This is Marquette that actually came forth and tried to play this one without a huge source of medium to long-range damage in the form of Zippy.
And Zippy taking over with Reach or No Help out. They've taken over the hit scan roll. Axehand staying to the May that they tried to run earlier. Honestly, not a bad look for them. And now who can get this Blizzard down faster?
Stomps about one swing really away from the Shatter. It's online right now. Nothing happening as Squid follows a well-placed charge. That Blizzard gets absolutely nothing. Stomps and the rest of Marquette falls. Zippy in the back gets taken, and no! Just far away from that wall, but just a couple of swings afterwards. Robot still a rolling for St. John's University.
They want to finish this now, Tug. They don't want this to go any longer if possible. Only about 20 to 30 meters left. And Marquette, they got to lay in this Shatter.
The Shatter in the high noon. Got to get the both out. There's the wall. St. John's fully on the back foot right now, and this high noon does nothing. Perhaps if this Cassie, as if he had like rotated around like side a little bit, not sure, but Stomp, excuse me, falls right there. Joey Baloney actually getting the last little bit of damage, and now it's going to be Jake taking out their counterpart yet again. Not going to get the high noon off. Going to pay attention to the Zippy this time.
And Jolton Joe taking him for another ride over there, Tug. This time to the other side of the map. And again, Bot just keeps ongoing. Stomps has yet to use the shatters. Patiently waiting, and they're going to wait just a little bit more.
Wow. So Jolton Joe got 2 of those right there. Lucio might be able to touch, but that's just going to be for a second. Ice block is there as well. The slow roll here. The side of Marquette. Oh, he gets the charge up. The slam finish is not. I don't think Marquette would have been able to go forth, get all 5 of those by themselves, regardless. But we do like a little bit of drama there at the end. This is obviously the 4K by Jake.
You would hope so, right? Yeah, it's gonna be 4K.
Yep.
How can it not be the 4K? Pops it. Immortality field's up. They think they're safe for a sec, and yep, there you go. Just everybody burned on down. And the less we talk about the 1v1 after, the better, I think, for Jake. But overall, he got to be the MVP of the match. They were just insane for St. John's. Marquette, their push woes continue, as it just seems to be their weakest map types so far this season, with Control being the best. So a lot of work to be done here for Marquette. Definitely not the end of the road. We still got a few weeks left here for them to try and take this back. Next week they have, I was about to say a winnable game, but it's Hawaii, so that might be another rough game for Hawaii. Aim for Marquette. For St. John's, again, they played DePaul. So honestly, with the way DePaul played tonight, that could honestly be a pretty decent game next week.
Well, it could be a very interesting matchup. We'll see how that one goes when we return from a very short break. A little interview action coming at you. I believe that is Jake coming on in to give us a minute of their time after the game. Back with you guys in just a minute. Hello and welcome back. FBI Tugboat here with Twin Salty. You guys just watched St. John's University put down Marquette University 3-0 fashion. And now we got the DPS absolute danger. That's Jake to come on in here and give us a minute of their time after the game. Jake, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. First off, congratulations on the victory. Once again, that was a 3-0 over Marquette.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Hopping right into this one. I want to ask, you had some pretty solid effect, you could say, on really 2 different characters. That was mostly the Cassidy and the Sojourn. I want to ask you personally who you feel more comfortable on when playing with this St. John's roster.
I feel like we work a lot better as a team when I'm playing Cassidy, because I have more playtime on him, so it's a lot easier to I already know stuff because I just started playing Sojourn more recently.
Yeah, that's fair. It didn't seem like I had an issue with either one as long as, the internet was stable. It seemed like at that point, the shots were lining up. How are you guys, again, now in a decent spot? getting closer to the top of the table. You guys have three, I would say, pretty decent games to end out the regular season. You know, DePaul, William & Mary, and Tennessee. How are you guys looking at this end of the schedule and how you're feeling right now?
I mean, we're feeling confident. I mean, we're fixing all the issues that we've kind of like shown in past games with like, you know, communications issues. We're trying to fix that. But yeah, this is a hard stretch to end the season, but I think we could do it.
Yeah, especially, you know, it's funny that you say communication's been the big thing you've been working on. We were actually talking about a lot on our end and how great it was, at least from our opinion. So at least seemed like that is definitely working out. Who's the one leading the comms right now for St. John's?
I mean, we kind of got two different people. Joe is definitely leading like our like engages, but Joey is our he's our ult tracker and like fight planner. He's really helpful there.
I think that kind of makes sense. Like what Joey Banana played a lot of Lucio on this one. Bappo mostly that main support right here. Jolch and Joe being the tanks from IGL. So I think that kind of follows you know that traditional format. I like that. I like that. Jake, want to ask, because as we know, no W's are taken alone. Do you have any shout outs, sir, before we get you on out of here?
I mean, I definitely want to give a shout out to Joey. He's definitely like taken the step forward to like ult track for us, because we've kind of had that issue where like we don't have anyone ult tracking or fight planning. So like more recently he's kind of taken the step forward as like a teammate and like putting that on himself, the ult track and fight plan, which has been very helpful, and it's definitely like shown good effect for our team.
There you go. Shout outs to the Lucio support. I as a Lucio main myself, it warms my heart to hear, friend. That warms my heart to hear, Jake. Gotta say. Once again, thank you for your time after the game, and we will see you on the next one. But again, only if you win, because we only have winners in my interview box.
Thank you, Jake.
There you go.
Thank
There
you.
go. Once again, folks, this has been St. John's University improving to 8-4 on the season. Now, Marquette unfortunately dropping down to 1-11. FBI Tugboat here with Twin Salty. I do believe that has reached my least favorite part of any broadcast, Twin Salty. That, of course, is the end. Do you have anything else for the good people before we bid them adieu and send y'all on over to the main EGF page? There's still Overwatch action going down. I believe that's starting in, or no, it started like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think they're probably, at this point, probably map 2, maybe map 3. So go on, check it over there. Captain Jack and To Try Hard Ray taking it over on official EGF. But man, a great night, especially for St. John's.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling pretty good. I can't wait for that DePaul versus St. John's game next week. That's what out to be one heck of a match.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big shout out to M Blizzard coming on in here, producing away, making our jobs as casters just so much easier. That's going to be it for myself, FBI Tugboat, and Twin Salty. Appreciate you guys watching. Check out the main stream for EGF Overwatch, and we'll see you on the next one.